out from ESPN. The NBA is still investigating the Clippers, but it seems to be examining whether the Clippers are guilty of, quote, failure to supervise employees, violating the team's rules by introducing Leonard to team sponsors. Meanwhile, for the other team in Los Angeles, the Bust family is selling its 17.8% ownership stake in the Los Angeles Lakers to new majority owners Josh Kushner and Bob Iger. Jeannie Buss, who has controlled the team since her father passed in 2013, will no longer have the required ownership stake to be the governor of the team moving forward. And the AP preseason poll places Ohio State at number 1 to start the year. They have 40 first-place votes. Behind them, Oregon and Georgia.
Ooh, Tank, let's play a fun game.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy.
Brought to you live by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings.
What? Wait, you don't like peanut butter and jelly?
It's the year of the quarterback.
Old Trip and May over here.
And we have a super chat.
And then he set the freaking house on fire.
You make my brain hurt sometimes.
Now you know you can't say the wordy dirds on the Radio Bot.
We're all the way down the rabbit hole now.
Fire them cannons, by golly.
Being a Jets fan, toxic.
It's a football Friday.
And for the 2027 mock draft, the Panthers take...
Tank needed our help to download Instagram. First reel he ever posted. 19 million views.
You're in the Sportsocracy. We'll be back right after this.
My penance in hell is going to be following Tank Spencer around with a camera.
You can find us everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Or catch us on YouTube.
We have breaking news. Tank, hit the button.
Oh, it's a great day to be alive, ain't it?
Oh, yeah. I lived in Greenville for a couple years. Absolutely loved it.
You boozy. 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate. This is the Sportsocracy, and welcome in. It is Overreaction Monday. It's it's the first of the year where we get to actually talk about football that happened over the weekend and taking all of your phone calls. Top 25 is out. Clemson's not in. South Carolina's not in. Give us a call, 864-240-5480, 864-240-5480. The call-in line, the text line is 864-777-9593. Don't forget, you can follow us on the YouTube stream as well. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that gets you into the chat with us. And then, if you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, you can also send us messages using the TalkBack feature on the app. That's the little microphone button. There's the play and the pause and the skip and all of that. There's a microphone there, and if you hit that, you can send us a message. So feel free to do so as well. Jeremy, this weekend, the preseason games in the NFL gave you a couple of strong feelings.
Jackson Dart may have a death wish. I'm starting to think maybe Jackson Dart is trying to. Is it a cry for help that you just can't set a protection and you get absolutely blistered off the end? Mm-hmm. The Miami Dolphins have either placed a sizable wager against themselves, or they are the single most incompetent offense I've ever seen in my life. Minnesota's not good. I don't care which one of those quarterbacks plays for you. It doesn't really matter. The Jets did make me defecate on myself earlier today. That was fun. Hey, Rich Cimini, when you say Breece Hall went down with a non-contact injury, maybe follow it up with he grabbed his hamstring, you jackal. Because I'm immediately thinking acronym, and it ends in CL, and I don't like that.
You never know up there in New York. It's hell on players' knees. Just ask Jamal Adams. That little experiment for the Minnesota Vikings didn't work out too well.
Jamal Adams' time with the Minnesota Vikings and Aaron Rodgers' time with the New York Jets is very equivalent, DJ.
You get your first caller.
Ouch. 864-240-5480. That is the call-in number for the Sportsocracy here on 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate. Let's go to the phone lines now. Caller, who's this?
It's Colin. How we doing, guys?
What's going on, Colin?
Oh, watch the preseason games. I'm kind of the same boat with Jeremy. Dart has a death wish. Mm-hmm. Miami, and, the Falcons are two of the worst teams ever created.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chiefs rookies looked real good. There are some dogs on that team. And the AFC West and the NFC West are both of the best divisions. There's no other divisions that are like them. The talent in those divisions are crazy.
Yes, both
You
ways.
just look across the board, and the talent floods everywhere. Just looking at those two divisions.
Agreed. You've got you've got the two best teams over in the NFC West in the NFL, and then between the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Denver Broncos, who still have a really good roster outside of their quarterback.
They might not have a dominant pass rush this year. One of the pass rushers is in a lot of legal trouble.
Well, I mean, the Denver Broncos, at this point, I keep looking at Denver going, this is the really cute girl on a dating app that keeps telling me she wants to meet me in person, but she won't show me a picture of her holding the newspaper because you're not the person you're telling me you are, and you're going to find out in pretty short order, and I'm not going to lie to you. I've never wanted anything so bad in my life. As much as Bronco fans talk excrement to me, I have never wanted a team to go 0-17 so bad in my life. And if they do, you should all delete social media because I will find you. I will call Columbo to track you down. You can change your name. You can change your appearance. I will find you like a bloodhound.
There's a possibility where week 6 of this season, Jeremy's just hunting dudes down on social media.
Oh, don't worry. I've noted the names. I got the account numbers. I got you, bruh. I got you. Unless you're ready to start all over again, maybe kick up a MySpace because I'm just waiting.
Broncos stumble out of the gate. This could be rough with the Chiefs, the Jaguars, the Rams, the 49ers, the Chargers, and the Seahawks before you get one breather against the Arizona Cardinals.
At this point, I think Arizona is better than both Miami and the Falcons at this point. Because, geez, man, oh lordy, those two games were an eyesore to look at.
Well, we had a first today on the ESPN Asheville show of Jeremy actually did project someone to go 0-17.
Arizona Cardinals. If the Arizona Cardinals play an inter-team scrimmage, the officials will win.
No, I just, you look around the NFL, I think this year, the NFL is so wide open besides the NFC West. I mean, the Rams, if they stay healthy, they're going to be impossible to beat. Mm-hmm. I mean, they could not be playing their stars by the time the Chiefs get there. They might have that 1 seed locked up by that time. Because I don't know what team's going to beat them. Well, the defense is going to be frightening.
Beating the Rams is going to be an accumulation. Because if you look at their path, so the 1 seed gets the bye. The 1 seed also has to play the lowest seed that comes out of the wild card rounds, which probably would be Seattle if all of this goes the way we think it will. And so if you're telling me they got to go Seattle, Detroit in back-to-back weeks, maybe the attrition just takes it at them because they are thinner than a lot of these high-end teams. But, I mean, if you go top 10 players in any matchup, the Rams have 7 of them against any team in the NFL. The Rams are what feels like the constant, and that always makes me nervous because every time we have a team that you look at and go, they cannot be stopped. You know what they are? Stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped. It's the NFL, and that's the denominator. This is the NFL. It is the great equalizer. We've had a lot of super teams in the past decade, and every super team I've ever seen, Jeremy, you can test this, they've been stopped, or the nutrition of the NFL takes over, and you have injuries that happen, and the Rams are not very deep on any position. I mean, the offensive line. If the offensive line gets hurt, Matt Stafford is in trouble. Like, he is in some serious trouble. I do not think that the Rams are injured by playoff time. It will be one of the biggest disappointments if they don't win the Super Bowl. Is the money they have wrapped up in that team with how Matt Stafford's getting old, and they don't really have a successor to Matt Stafford at this point. I mean, Ty Simpson looked decent against second-string and third-string defenses, but what happens if he has to play and actually play a real NFL defense? Because Spags wasn't throwing anything special at him. He was playing zone half that game. Like, he didn't really throw any blitzes. He didn't do anything like the Vikings were doing and a lot of these other teams were doing, just throwing mad blitzes.
Go back to
in the house every.
Go back to the SEC championship tape. That's what happens.
Yeah, Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Ty Simpson looked like a little kid who had accidentally pooped his pants on the playground, and his mom and dad were across town, and so he had to just sit there. Like, I don't want to stand up because everybody's going to make fun of me. I know we were at that game, and we watched every second of it. And Tank did it with the goofiest grin on his face I have ever seen in my life.
And that was just against the Georgia Bulldogs. What do you think the Dallas Cowboys are going to do with him? What do you think the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles is going to do?
Seven is going to be that's going to terrorize some offensive lines. I mean, Kansas City has a really good offensive line, especially up the middle with Creed and Trey and I forget that kid's name.
Kingsley Suamatea.
Yeah, like they have some good offensive lines, but I don't know. This NFL season's so wide open, especially in the AFC.
This is a new week, which means it's a great time for Jeremy to proclamate again. The Dallas Cowboys are going to hurt a lot of your feelings this year. And it seems like every week they give me a new reason to say that. And I never thought I would be the Dallas Cowboy apologist, but here we are.
The addition of Von Miller
certainly it's a new year, Jeremy. After all the shit talk. Oh, whoops. Ooh. My bad.
Hit the button, Trey. I got it.
I caught it. My bad, guys. My bad. All the crap talking you did on Dallas last year, they're going to hurt some feelings this year.
Dallas is the funniest dichotomy across 2 years that I've ever seen, because last year I said all offseason long it's going to go poorly, and then it did go poorly. It actually went better than I thought it would go. And this year, I'm the one going, yeah, you don't want to do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't take that victory lap, because Dallas Cowboy fans never forget. And they're going to remember who said it. And I just want them to know that this year I was friend, not foe.
Eat and Sleep Football says
this
Cowboy
year,
fans
Jeremy didn't say nothing bad about the Dallas Cowboys.
Eat and Sleep Football says Cowboys fans are going to be insufferable this year, more than they have been the last 2 decades. And look, I'm kind of okay with Dallas fans being insufferable if they have something to be insufferable about.
Which they do.
Which I think you do.
I think the Denver Broncos fans have took over the Dallas Cowboys for insufferable fan base.
Oh, Colin.
How Jeremy has been all over the Broncos fan base. I think they are the new fan base that Jeremy's going to have a heyday with this year.
Colin, we're up against a commercial break. We appreciate the call, as always, my friend. And I will say, in terms of fan bases that I am looking forward to dancing on your graves this year, the Denver Broncos are 1, 2, and 4. The Miami Dolphins are 3.
Yep, there it is.
I don't know that there is a 5.
All right, guys, you have a good one.
Have a good one, Colin. We appreciate you as always, my friend.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate. We'll be back right after this.
104.9 Fox Sports Upstate traffic.
Stolen vehicle still camped in the left lane, 85 southbound on Highway 153. Be careful here. We're backed up.
Okay, you can't say the wordy words on the
26
radio box.
Westbound, we're on the 85
Please don't.
in Spartanburg. The 2 left
We
lanes
have now officially set the record for most dump buttons in 1 week. We have now hit the dump button. We've hit the dump button more times in 1 week than we hit it in 8 years.
I was going to say, I don't know that I've hit the dump button this many times in my career. I've been in radio since 2014.
That's good.
Somebody that asked me the other day, have you had any problems with callers saying the wordy nerds? And I went, not that anybody knows. Now, if you've watched the YouTube,
Right? Yep.
100%. Because there's not a dump button on the YouTube.
Oh, it's not guided by the FCC, though. YouTube's free. It's Wild Wild West.
I wonder if people on the radio go, I wonder what he just said. Like, have they figured out that's why it goes silent for 10 seconds?
If we had video, it'd look like Pat McAfee show.
Just
audio just cuts out.
By the way, have you heard the Pat McAfee
It
album?
Straight in.
Oh, God, no.
It clipped straight into me saying, hit the button, Trey.
Oh, good. I'm just glad it works. It always makes me nervous because I can't verify on my end.
Colin,
You got Sandra on the
don't
text
feel
line.
bad. We've actually had it. It's happened now 5 times in a week. So I mean, at this point, don't feel bad. Just be cognizant of it because one day that button's gonna fail, and I have pooped my pants thinking about the day that button fails.
I mean, I've got a backup button. I should just hit both.
Oh, no doubt. I am gonna ask Aaron Michael, can we have a second dump button put in?
Yeah.
Is it possible to have 2?
Yeah. Can I dump the dump?
At this point, we're getting so many kudos on how many calls and texts we're getting that they're giving us a good amount of leeway. But the button does have to keep working.
As long as we don't slip up, like, it's all good. As long as the button continues to work, we're good.
And so far, the button's batting 1,000.
It is. I'm watching it build up right now. I got 6.06 seconds.
Let's go.
Of dump time. I
Let's
guess I
go.
hit it, really.
Oh, now I got to try to log into
Sound Plus.
Sound Plus. Do.
I've been trying to get Rich to log into it, too, just to familiarize himself with it.
Nationwide contest. That's Vegas to 200-200.
Hey, gang. Welcome back into 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate. The lighter side of radio.
Was that was that Rush? Canadian
That was.
superpower
Yeah, it
Rush?
was, yeah.
That was Cooper Rush, yes. Did he get to play this weekend?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, he did.
Good for
It was
him.
not good.
Yeah,
Well,
no. The Atlanta Falcons had 3 quarterbacks that they had 3 quarterbacks that laced up their cleats and put on a helmet. I don't know that any of them actually played. And if they did play, they didn't play well.
Well, good for him.
I mean, they weren't Miami Dolphin backup quarterbacks bad, but that's hard to do.
That's true. The Miami Dolphins quarterbacks who went, 4 for 19, you said?
Let's see. Malik Willis went 4 for 5. The other 2 quarterbacks threw a combined 17 passes and completed as many passes as Malik Willis did.
Okay.
There was one point where I actually thought like paramedics should be called for Quinn Ewers because he had either gone temporarily blind or he had vertigo so bad that I was afraid he was going to fall down.
Oh, some teams just built different than others. And the Miami Dolphins built to lose.
Trey, I want to play the same fun game with you that I played with Tank earlier.
Okay.
So my wife has been out of town the last few days.
Okay.
I've had the house to myself. What do you think my Saturday consisted of?
Pizza and football.
The pizza came yesterday.
Okay.
I had
off.
The Motor City. Is it Motor City something? That is the best frozen pizza in the world. And there's only one place you should get it. Your local Ingles supermarkets. They bring you this show, so you might as well just buy your groceries from them. Ingles-markets.com. Low prices, love the savings. I watched all 22 preseason tape and played 36 holes of golf.
Oh, okay.
That was my Saturday.
What'd you shoot?
Saturday I actually shot incredibly well until I got drenched to my to my birthday suit on the 5th hole. And then I played the rest of the second 18 just jump in a pool soaked.
Ew.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Yeah, when you have to look at yourself in the mirror and go, am I going to take the underoos off at the turn? I think I am. That's a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a rough one. You should pack the udder butter just in case.
Well, I mean, I'll go ahead and tell you. The only thing separating me and the eyeballs of a lot of onlookers was one thin layer of cloth and one belt that hadn't fit since I lost 40 pounds. You don't know how close you were to making a memory that you would have killed to have forgotten.
Oh, no. That's gross. Hey, by the way, during the break, I did figure it out, Jeremy. You said your favorite fan bases to dunk on this season were the Denver Broncos at 1, 2, and 4. The Miami Dolphins were 3, and you weren't sure there was a 5. The Minnesota Vikings is your 5.
No, I don't want to dunk on the Vikings. I feel bad for the Vikings. They had hope. No, the J.J. McCarthy truthers, I've already dunked on them. The only problem is that they're hiding under a rock so deep that I can't get to them.
Well, you know why? That's because he's about to lose the backup job to Carson Wentz.
Yep. 9. Yeah, you know what? And we didn't see this coming, and I think we should have. When that 9 thing started, he was actually telling us where he was going to fall on the depth chart. I will be QB 9.
Okay, then your only other option, I think, would be the Eagles. And I don't know how much dunking you're going to get to do other than if they end up 9-8.
No, I don't want to dunk on Eagles fans. The Eagles fans have not been the Jalen Hurts truthers again. That's not the fan base. The fan base knows.
Because they're too busy comparing him to Jose Jalapeno. Have you seen that? Jalen Hurts?
Excuse me? Who's Jose Jalapeno?
That's one
Jalen
of the.
Hurts. Have you not seen that?
That's one of Jeff Dunham's dummies.
Yeah.
When he does ventriloquism.
He's got the mustache.
Ah. Okay.
Oh, yes. They're fed up with him.
But 5s. 5s to whoever figured that one out.
Yeah, I think I've only got 2 fan bases that I really just want to dunk on.
Okay.
The Denver Broncos are no doubt one. And there are some great Bronco fans. Soaring Eagle, Denver Donkeys. We've got some great ones that listen to our show.
Sure.
I have learned a valuable lesson. And I'm trying to make Christiana and Katrina and business manager Megan understand the valuable lesson that I have learned, which is there is no good in reading social media comments.
Mm-hmm.
None. There are some good people out there that will send you some very nice things. And then there are some other people that their mom burned their pizza rolls, and they are super mad at the world. And they want to take it out on you. And, you know, Bronco fans, I mean, I hate to tell you this. The NFL has taken their aggression out on you because you start at the Kansas City Chiefs, Jacksonville Jaguars, the Rams, at the 49ers, at the Chargers, Seattle Seahawks. Then you get a sweet little reprieve with the Arizona Cardinals, and then you play the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care how delusional you are. If you think you're coming out of that clean on the other side, nope. I don't care how many times you saw the Shawshank Redemption. You are not coming out clean on the other side.
So. Okay. All right. Jeremy does not want to dunk on Vikings fans or Eagles fans. I'm going to write that down for later, just in case.
Oh, I didn't say I wasn't going to do it. No, don't get that.
How the truth comes out.
Don't get that messed up. I mean, I'll still do it.
Okay, I thought I had woke up with a different Jeremy today. For some
You
reason.
didn't wake up with me. If you'd woke up with me, you'd have definitely woke up with a different Jeremy because I'd have cried the whole day long.
How did that happen?
I'll go ahead and tell you. If I woke up with you, I could have cured cancer in that same day. Still a bad day.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESP, or nope, this is 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate. You can give us a call at the call-in line. You threw me off. Call-in line is 864-240-5480. Let's go over to the call-in line. Save us, please. Who's this?
This is Dodger Blue. How you doing?
How are you?
Hey, you guys doing all right today?
Yeah, doing good.
We cannot complain. Another day just living the dream.
Is it hot enough for y'all, man? Wow.
It is.
But
it
anyway,
is quite toasty.
I'm a huge Los Angeles Rams fan. You was talking about, there's a constant when people pick teams, say they go into the Super Bowl and doing this. I remember we had the greatest show on earth and got to the Super Bowl, and it looked like we never played football before. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I don't want all those expectations. I just want us to lay under the, just lay back a little bit and just play the season. You got to play those games. You can't pick nobody to win the Super Bowl. I'm like, man, Rams got to play one game at a time, keep their mind on winning and doing what they're supposed to do, and lay off all those expectations. That's just my opinion, guys.
It gets dangerous, doesn't
it definitely does. And I can tell you, I played on a team that we got knocked out of the state playoffs 1 year. Everybody returned, and it was a foregone conclusion we're going to be playing in the state championship. That was the tightest season of my entire life because it felt like every game we played, we either had to win, or we were letting everybody in that stadium down. Everybody. And I have never been more neurotic in my life than that season.
Well, I tell you, if Aaron Donald comes back, I feel a little bit better because I know if you can't score on the Rams, you're not going to beat us because we're going to score some points. That's just the thing. And, last year to me, it was a fluke for Seattle because, they took the 2 points, so gave them those 2 points. They was already kicking off. And then the referee said, they scored 2 points. So, it was weird stuff that happened last year. So, I'm looking for the Rams to be really peed off and ready to kick butt this year and don't take no for an answer. So, hopefully they'll get it together, man. So we'll see.
I'm gonna give you a guy. I'm the draft guy, so I like the deeper cuts. With Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, all the guys like that. I'm going to tell you a guy that you're probably going to see a little bit in the preseason, and you'll see him a good bit as the season goes on. It's a kid named C.J. Daniels that plays wide receiver for them. 6th-round pick out of Miami.
Oh, yeah.
I was not in love with him as a prospect, but throughout the entire process, I said one thing about him, and I said it about 7 times. If he winds up with Sean McVay, you mark my words, that kid's going to be a number 4 receiver for that team, and we're going to be asking, how did we let him do this again? And I've seen it already, just not even seeing him on a practice field, just talking to beat writers. We have a really close friend that's very close to the LA Rams. He has said that name to me about 40 times this offseason.
Hey, you better watch that Connor kid, too. I know they were playing against second stringers and all that, but you could just tell players when you look at them. And Connor's that man, the way he run the ball, he kind of reminds me of that McCaffrey up there with the 49ers. But I tell you, we got some stud running backs. Now my other thing that I'm worried about is how long they're going to suspend Puka, because, you know, the NFL got that policy about domestic violence and all that stuff. So, you know, we got some things going on, but hopefully, you know, they'll get it together and put it together and win it at home again. That'll be great. Let me tell you about your Cowboys. Man, don't start that. That's every day, man. That's just like drinking water with them. We're going to win it this year. This is all year. I'm like, man, we get so tired of that stuff, man. It's been over 30-something years now. And will they just shut up and be quiet? Maybe they might win, you know?
I did an interview over the weekend, and I made a comparison. You know, I was a comedian, so I'm reasonably quick-witted. And I said something about Cowboys fans, and I didn't realize how funny it was at the time. You know those little bugs that come out like every 15 years, and they make that really god-awful shrill noise, and by the end of it, you're like, they're either going to die or I'm going to have to move. I think they're called cicadas.
Yep.
That's the Dallas Cowboys. And this is that 17 years, and unfortunately, this is the year they're going to get really loud, and they're going to be out in droves. And this might be the one time that, yeah, they might be that good. I mean, now Brian Schottenheimer's still their coach.
Well,
and I once said Brian Schottenheimer could mess up spaghetti. And there's a chance he messes
I
this
love
up.
that delusion. I love how delusional their fan base is. I make sure that I pound them. You know, guys, I don't know, you know my name, Dr. Rube, but my Dodgers, I don't know what to say about it right now. But, you know, they're going to get it. But get back to the Cowboys. Man, you was talking about you would step on Denver and all them. Man, I don't give them a chance to breathe. I would pound them every time I get a chance. They some brutal fans, man. And you just got to talk junk back to them because you don't have no bullets. They'll beat you up. And they ain't won nothing. That's what makes me so mad. They don't never win, and they be talking the most junk. So anyway, guys, y'all have a great day. I was just sitting back listening to you. So. Have a great day, and I'll try to call back in sometimes, you know.
You're welcome anytime, my friend. We appreciate the call. You have a great day as well. To what he said about Denver right there at the end, I will say, every once in a while, I don't tend to respond to trolls, but every once in a while, there's one that will get on my nerves, and we had one over the weekend of, I don't even remember what he said. It was something to the effect of, we were doing a podcast out of your mom's basement. And I responded and said, you do realize we're the only two people in America that are employed by the two biggest entities in sports. He responded with, sure. And I don't know why that flew all over me to the point of I had to say, Google me. It's not that hard. Just go to Google and search my name. You'll see it. And then I got blocked.
Because, I mean, that's what you do.
Well, I mean, that's one of those that you have now appropriately been dunked on. I mean, like Vince Carter over Frederick Weiss dunked on. Just
when you've lost the argument, that's the only thing you have left.
See, I think there should be, and Mark Zuckerberg, I hope somehow this gets back to you. I have an idea for Facebook and all the other social medias that if someone has commented to you 3 or more times, you have the ability to unblock yourself for one message, and you can say whatever you want to, and only they can see it, because I would have so much fun with that.
Sure that you would. We'll take a break here on ESP. I did it again.
Wrong one.
Fox Sports Upstate 104.9 FM. The call-in line 864-240-5480. 864-240-5480. The text line 864-777-9593. The Sportsocracy brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. We'll be back right after this.
State summer is officially here, and it's time for lake days, road trips, and family vacations. And if you've been thinking about upgrading your ride, don't wait any longer. It's time right now. Make this the summer you get a new car. Richmond Weaver here, and the summer sales event at Lake Kiwi Ford and Lake Kiwi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is heating up, and we're talking some of the biggest discounts of the year, up to $15,000 off brand new trucks, which you know is a total game changer. Whether you want an F-150 or a Ram, you can test drive them both. And with over 600 vehicles on the lot ready to roll, they can find a ride that's best for you. Plus, here's the kicker. Buy now and get 0 payments for 90 days, and even 0% financing is available. Now, don't wait until these prices and the vehicle you want is gone. Go right now to Lake Kiwi Ford or Lake Kiwi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Highway 123 between Seneca and Clemson, or shop online anytime at LakeKiwiAutoGroup.com.
You don't pay for iHeartRadio. Our advertisers do. That's why it's always been and always will be 100% free. Radio, music, podcasts. Download the iHeartRadio app now.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty. On the Dan Scott Show, we get to do two of my favorite things. That's talk about faith and sports, bring them all together. 8 a.m. every Sunday, the Dan Scott Show, presented by Ingles, just for you here on Fox Sports Upstate.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, rock star. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. I've been scouting these big carriers for a minute now, and I've seen them pull the same play 1,000 times. They promise you the world, then hit you with a price hike right when the game gets tight. But Boost Mobile, their $25 a month unlimited wireless plan is the most consistent player on the floor. No contracts, no price hikes. Unlock the savings today at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months on the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
104.9 Fox Sports Upstate Weather.
This is WIFF News 4 Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice with your forecast. We've got thunderstorms clearing out as we go throughout the overnight hours. Temperatures will drop down to the mid-70s, up to 94 on Tuesday. Those temperatures are going to be really hot, especially when you factor in the humidity, feeling like 100 to 105. That intense heat continues Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday before some rain and a front. Cool us back down to where we should be this time of the year, back to around 90 by the weekend.
This report is sponsored by Staples. All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy.
104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate.
It is the Sportsocracy. Breaking news. And on the program, you got thoughts from the preseason action this past weekend. Any sweeping declarations? You got any questions about your team going forward into the season? Top 25 came out in college football, Jeremy. There were no South Carolina teams in it. No Clemson, no South Carolina. Clemson was ranked in the coaches poll, but the AP poll left them both out. Fair or foul?
I understand it. Now, do I think I mean, look, I'm very fond of South Carolina this year. I think Clemson has a lot of opportunities. It's weird that we don't really have a lot of resolution on who the quarterback's going to be. Which does scare me to a point. But, I mean, I think both of them will be fine. I'm not surprised they weren't in the initial poll. It's fine. It's fine.
Yep. Call-in line is 864-240-5480. 864-240-5480. Text line is 864-777-9593. Let's head on over to the call-in line. Caller? Who's this?
Hey, it's not the texter, Roger and Anderson.
Hey, Roger, how are you?
I'm doing good. I was wanting to pick your brain. I've been catching up what I can catch up with on preseason football, and I was sort of going over, looking at the news of because I saw something yesterday on one of these channels I got. It's basically a gambling channel, and I don't gamble. I've never bet. I made a few small bets, but I really don't. But anyway, the odds for the NFC South, for the odds of the Panthers winning it, had dropped tremendously. And I was like, well, what's going on? And then I looked at I got on my little thing here, and I looked at the news, and then I see all this offensive line injury news. I think a wide receiver was hurt. Of course, Bryce Young didn't play well in the Buffalo game. I mean, no big deal. I mean, yeah, he's coming up on an extension year, but after what he did last year, I think we need to give him a little bit of room. But the offensive line, is that the reason why they've dropped? I mean, when I say drop, dude, I'm talking about like they are in the just as far as the South goes. They had Atlanta and Tampa Bay above them for the odds to win it based on these injuries. Is this accurate?
Now, right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the favorite over the New Orleans Saints. Panthers are third.
My gosh.
And the Falcons are close fourth.
To the Panthers. See, and I understand the Falcons is strictly because of the quarterback position.
Well, the Panthers, you have both of the tackles are hurt. You got Taylor Moton that's got the blood clot issue that we don't know when he'll be available.
It could be week 2. It could be next year.
Right.
Blood clots there is absolutely no way to forecast that.
Right. He's under treatment, so, I mean, he could be ready for week 1. I wouldn't count on it, but, I mean, chances are maybe he could do that. More than likely.
Blood clots in what part of his body? His leg?
I think it was the lung, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where?
In his lung.
In lungs.
Wemby had blood clots. He plays. I'm just saying. I don't know. You're right. It could be a month. It could be a year.
Could be.
I know Wembyama had blood clots.
Yep.
And this past year, he was the best player in basketball. I don't know.
Ike Ekwunu's got the knee. Is it the right knee? That has been. He's been trying to heal from it, but it's just not healing the way that they want it to, and there has been like coded talk of he'll be ready at some point, which is a major warning sign. So you're going in with Rasheed Walker and Monroe Freeling, the rookie out of Georgia, to start the season.
Yeah, which is fine, but it's untested.
Right, it's unproven, at least as far as Monroe Freeling goes, and if that has to sustain for the season, it's a huge question mark. And then you got Nick Skirton, who was the number 1 pass rusher on the team, is just, well, I mean, you got Jalen Phillips, but Nick Skirton, I guess the best returning pass rusher on the team, that he's done for the year. So you've already lost a major pass rush piece on defense. And Chris Brazel's out. So there goes a depth piece that you had at the wide receiver position, which already with, Xavier Leggette's issues, they were looking for somebody to step up into that role. Hopefully it's Xavier, but Brazel being out, that really hurts.
Well, there's another thing you got to remember with odds, too, is that odds are not necessarily Vegas. Vegas is not necessarily always telling you what they think is going to happen. They're trying to keep the action 50-50 on both sides. And so when Carolina started getting hurt, you started getting a lot of bets on Tampa Bay. You started getting a lot of bets on New Orleans. New Orleans was super popular anyway. And so they started flooding up New Orleans to a point. Now it's almost leveled to the point where the Saints and the Panthers are close to each other because the handle on Carolina went so far the opposite direction with so many people betting under. As I think that, Tank, correct me if I'm wrong here, they were at 7.5 or 8.5 wins. I think it was 7.5.
Carolina?
What?
Yes.
The South, the ticker I saw yesterday, and this is all this show does. I mean, they do NFL, and they got guys on there who know what they're talking about. A lot of them are good. They're not, streamers. This is like I don't know. I'm not going to say the name of it. It's not Fox affiliated. But anyway, I think the Panthers were 1,400 or something, whatever that means. If you bet 100, you win 1,400 or something. That's how that works. They were 1,400 to 100. These odds things are crazy, but like I said, they were as far as the NFC, they were in the well below the mix for the playoffs. They were neck and neck with teams like the Washington, like the Commanders. They were right there with them to win the NFC.
So
and like you said, the other two South competitors were New Orleans and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was like 800 to 1 to win the NFC.
So
and
actively
that's the one team. Go ahead. Sorry.
So actively on DraftKings, Tampa Bay is plus 2,200. The Saints are plus 3,700. The Panthers are plus 3,800, and the Falcons are plus 5,500 to win the NFC. What that tells you,
Super Bowl?
That's to win the NFC. So what that tells you is that basically Vegas does not believe in that conference at all. So they think whoever gets that home game is going to catch either Seattle or Philadelphia or Dallas, and they don't think they can escape it. That's really more just keeping the handle, because what a lot of wagerers will do is they'll see a big number and they start conspiring of what way can I go 50 to 1 on my money. And you don't need a whole lot of handle on 50 to 1 to burn you. And Vegas has been burned a handful of times, especially in the NFC South, because they had so many years where the team that finished last the previous year won it the next year, and they got burned.
Yeah, Vegas. That the South is that way. There hasn't been a runaway team in the South. Probably, the Falcons, the year they lost the Super Bowl, maybe they were sort of, and the year before that or two before that, the Panthers went 15-1 before they got unfortunately beat by Denver in that year. I remember they went 15-1, I think, in 2015. That was the last really good Cam year. Other than those two teams, I can't remember Tampa Bay ever run. Brady's years, they always went like 10-6, 9-7. They made the playoffs, but then because of the team that they surrounded him with and with his experience, they would go far. Of course, they won the Super Bowl. But Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, I don't think ever won 12 games, 11 games, maybe 11 one year. I don't even think he did that.
I think in 2020 we were 12-5.
I think that's right.
No, we were
11-6.
11, yeah. 11-6. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't go to 17 until a couple years later.
Yeah.
But on the Falcons, Tua turned the ball over. I know what they're doing. They're trying to see what he's got. Penix is working his way back from the knee injury, and he's been, they said, limited to the 7-on-7 drills, and he's not getting any game time. But I wasn't aware, because I don't follow this as well as you. That's why I listen to you. They've got Cooper Rush. I'm going to see him playing substantially this year. If I'm Stefanski, I'm not playing games with Tua turned the ball over. He's shell shocked. He made comments after the game. His body language is not good. He gets a concussion when he brushes his teeth. It's a bad situation. I'm sorry. I was never big on him. I didn't like his size. I didn't like the fact that when he was with Alabama, he had all his talent around him. And, because of where he was, he got the big push. I just never bought it. And he's been a decent pro a couple of stretches with Miami. But he's cooked. They've got to go with Cooper Rush until Penix is ready. Because Tua turned the ball over, man. I see him as a locker room draining energy type guy.
He always says things in a weird way. So the comments that you were referring to after Friday night's game with the Denver Broncos, he said he was frustrated and disappointed at the way things happened tonight as we went out there. And that's coming from a guy that played 2 series.
Yeah.
And so basically you're just indicting a team that you just came to. He did this in Miami a lot too, and it never sat well with me. I want my quarterback to, when you ask me a question, if I'm the quarterback, it's on me. It's everything falls on me. I'm the leader in the locker room. Anything that happened behind me, the quarterback room, whether it was Cooper Rush or Jack Strand, the young D2 kid, that falls on me. I'm currently running as the one. I'm the leader of that room, everything that happened falls on me. And with Tua, it always felt like even if he accepted the blame on himself, it was always we. It was always we looked rough tonight.
Yeah.
We were disappointing tonight.
He would take, yes.
And that's it's a
he would take
subtle
you down.
thing
Yes.
that just absolutely
he would drive you
blow up
down.
the locker room.
He would drive you up Interstate 2, but he would always take that exit ramp off to the wee road, off the wee frontage road. I mean, that's what he does. And the media, that's why I think he got every time he would, get hurt or even think that he became a media go-to guy because they wanted to ask him how he was, and in the process they knew that he would probably say something that was kind of stir the pot, because otherwise he doesn't have any really charisma, but he will say something that will kind of at least add to a story that otherwise wouldn't exist.
So I call this Tim.
That's why I don't know what they're. Do you agree with me that they're going to have to play Cooper Rush?
Well, I mean, you get into a situation like this where Stefanski was definitely given a lot of leash. Stefanski was one of the hottest names on the cycle this year, and he really only interviewed with the Falcons. And he interviewed, I want to say it was Baltimore, and he knew he wasn't getting Baltimore. I've had that told to me half a dozen times. He knew he wasn't getting that job. But they called. He was hoping he could impress. The Atlanta job was the one that he was really attracted to, and I think it's because of Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. He looks at that and goes, that is a core nucleus of offensive weapons that I can win with. The good thing is when you bring in a coach like that with a new general manager, you can basically scrub the decks. So he brought in Tua, who, according to what I have heard, he believes could run his system in the way that Deshaun Watson never could, a handful of other quarterbacks never could. He is not committed to Michael Penix. Just because they drafted him, that was previous regime. It's going to be whoever wins. I mean, could I see a path that's Cooper Rush? I could. The problem with Tua Tagovailoa is that he suffers from something I call Tim Tebow syndrome. Of you are a 5 player, but you have a 9 name, and so fans get kind of wrapped up into the name more than the player, and then they become super
because
delusional.
of Alabama.
And there's nothing you can really do with them because there's this weird cult following that follows the player around. It happens with Baker Mayfield. It's happened with Tim Tebow. It's happened. I mean, now there's a lot more that I could go with here, but that's going to turn into a way bigger discussion. I could see a path that they just go.
It already is.
Oh, no doubt. And I think Arch actually has – there's a reason for it with Arch. I see it with – he's a big kid. He can run. I see how somebody falls in love with that. Some of these other guys, it gets into, well, they're gritty or that's not actually a trait.
Yeah, gritty, yeah.
That gritty has always been that word that I think people say about quarterbacks when they can't actually put their thumb on a trait to say. And so they just say gritty and move on like I'm not supposed to question that. Tua falls into that.
It's because they'll get up after a hit. They'll get up after a hit. Their uniform's dirty, and this goes back to the old Madden team. If a player was dirty and gritty, he'd be on the Madden team for no other reason.
Roger, we got to let you go. We got to leave it there, man. We got to hit the break here at the top of the hour. The Roo, 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate. This is the Sportsocracy, and we'll be back right after this.
Center. Injured? Just call Joy. 888-8888.
This is 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Harts Buick GMC Greenville.
At Harts Buick GMC Greenville, your dream ride awaits. So why settle? Shop popular models like Sierra 1500, Terrain, and Encore. Experience the Parks promise at parksbuickgmc.com. We are professional grade.
If you run a business in this community, you know what a huge moment back to school is. And that's why you should consider joining iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher program. Celebrating local educators throughout August, it's a great way for your business to connect with families and be part of a message your next customers already care about. In fact, 85% of consumers say when a brand supports teachers, they want to support that brand. Get your business into the back-to-school conversation today. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com.
This is what football sounds like.
Straight up the gut for 5 yards and the score.
And iHeartRadio is the official partner of the NFL Podcast Network.
Welcome to NFL Daily. We're doing the work to get you up to date.
Just download the free iHeartRadio app and search NFL.
When you're ready to ride, you don't settle, and neither do we. Harley-Davidson of Greenville has the largest pre-owned inventory in the Carolinas, packed with the bikes riders actually want. More power, more attitude, more ways to hit the road your way. Roll into 30 Chrome Drive in Greenville and throw a leg over your next Harley. Or shop the full lineup at upstateharley.com before the best ones are gone. Harley-Davidson of Greenville. Ride like you mean it.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world has noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
There are two kinds of guys looking for jobs in roofing. Some are looking for a job that pays money. Get a job with Chuck in a truck and you'll be up the ladder tomorrow. Driving nails, making money. Go to Guy Roofing and tomorrow will be the first day of your next 4 months in a classroom. What's the difference between those two guys? Well, the classroom guy won't be making roofer money quite yet, but he'll be learning about safety and waterproofing techniques, how to avoid mistakes, and how to fix the mistakes made by guys who never went to class. The other guy will be learning on the job, and that job might be your house. Kind of guy who wants to be in a classroom listening to master roofers for 4 months before he even climbs a ladder is the guy you want on your roof. He isn't planning to be a roofer until he's tired of it. He's a guy who wants to be great at it. Guy Roofing. You got a roof, you got a guy.
Take your taste buds on a summer getaway to Louisiana without leaving Greenville. The Lost Cajun on Pelham Road is serving up authentic Louisiana favorites, including seafood gumbo, jambalaya, overstuffed po' boys, red beans and rice, and their famous fresh beignets. This summer, let the good times roll at the Lost Cajun.
Why pay full price when you can customize and save? Switch to Liberty Mutual, and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Touchdown! The countdown to the new NFL season is on.
And now, all 32 in-market local teams can be heard on the free iHeartRadio app.
He's in! That's a jet touchdown! Just open the app and search your favorite team.
Plus, Fox Sports Radio breaks it all down
as we get closer to week 1.
It's crazy and it's fun.
Join the conversation and stay locked in. Live local games with you all season long.
Download the iHeartRadio app.
Search NFL and press play.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. From the Ingle Studio, this is WROO-FM Malden, 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate, an iHeartRadio station. Guaranteed human. Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. From the Ingle Studio, this is WROO-FM Malden, 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate, an iHeartRadio station. Guaranteed human. from the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Chris Perfett.
According to NBA insider Shams Charania, it is a changing of the guard for the Lakers. The Buss family has decided to sell its remaining 17.8% ownership stake in the team to new majority owners Josh Kushner and Bob Iger. Jeannie Buss, who controlled the team's ownership since 2013 when her father passed, will no longer have the required ownership percentage to remain governor of the team. The Associated Press released its preseason college football poll on Monday. Ohio State ranks number 1 with 40 first-place votes. Live Golf said Monday it has canceled its scheduled individual and team championship set to be played in Michigan later this month, meaning the week's tournament in Indianapolis will be the final event of Liv's season. And two-time Super Bowl champion Von Miller is signing with the Dallas Cowboys. The contract details came out on Monday. It is a one-year deal worth $5.5 million.
Ooh, Tank, let's play a fun game.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy.
Brought to you live by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings.
What? Wait, you don't like peanut butter and jelly?
It's the year of the quarterback.
Old Trip and May over here.
And we have a super chat.
And then he set the freaking house on fire.
You make my brain hurt sometimes.
Now you know you can't say the wordy dirds on the Ragey Box.
We're all the way down the rabbit hole now.
Fire them cannons, my golly.
Being a Jets fan, toxic.
It's a football Friday.
And for the 2027 mock draft, the Panthers take...
Tank needed our help to download Instagram. First reel he ever posted. 19 million views.
You're in the Sportsocracy. We'll be back right after this.
My penance in hell is going to be following Tank Spencer around with a camera.
You can find us everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app or catch us on YouTube.
We have breaking news. Tank, hit the button.
Oh, it's a great day to be alive, ain't it?
Oh, yeah. I lived in Greenville for a couple of years. Absolutely loved it.
You boozy.
It is 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate. This is the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. And we are here to talk about all of the foosballs because the preseason has gotten underway. They're already doing the injury checkup, finding out who's built to make it past the first week of preseason. Jackson Dart was one that could not without having to go to the tent.
We actually have a text on the text line that steers directly into that.
Oh, look at that. You can hit us up on the text line at 864-777-9593. And what's it say?
This one's from Soaring Eagle that said, after this weekend of football, is there an over-under on the week we're going to see Jackson Dart spilled all over the field? Because if there is, it's week 5. I'm going to hammer the under.
Doesn't even think it'd make it that far. Wow.
Did you see the stat that Jackson Dart has been in the tent for 43% of his starts at some point?
Yep. Nuts.
That is an alarmingly high number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I heard he does it so he can communicate with Cam Scatterbo better.
I mean, at some point, you are going to have to learn to speak Tasmanian devil for Cam Scatterbo to understand you. I love Jackson Dart. I always have. I think John Harbaugh is. I think that's going to go down as one of those. Whoa, that's the thing we thought was going to work. I mean, I know everybody thinks I'm losing my mind about this. I think John Harbaugh will go down as Adam Gase level bad.
What?
I don't think he's a great coach. I've never thought he was a great coach. And now he's being treated like he's Sean McVay, and he's not. And if you just read little subtle clues of things that are going on with the New York Giants, it's really not that hard to see through it. It's really not. Just look at how he's bringing in all of his guys that don't necessarily fit. The staff is not overly impressive. I've read this book before. The staff tells you everything you need to know. And when you have to fall on Matt Nagy, and before anybody says, but Matt Nagy was with Andy Reid, because Andy Reid doesn't need an offensive coordinator. Andy Reid calls that offense. The OC is nothing more than a figurehead. Why did it crash into the ocean when it was Matt Nagy? Because Matt Nagy didn't have the pull that Eric Bieniemy did. I'm not telling you one's a much better coach. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying Bieniemy works better with Andy Reid than Matt Nagy did. With John Harbaugh, that's not the case. Matt Nagy's now the guy running the offense. How many times do I have to see a guy do something before I go, nope, you are not what I'm being sold you are? You're just not. And then you look at the hot young assistants, do not go with John Harbaugh. What does that tell you? It tells you that these guys didn't believe in him. Or he's just going with a reunion tour of all of his buddies, and I have read this book before.
Okay. All right. So John Harbaugh will be as bad as Adam Gase in New York.
I said what I said.
All right. All right. You heard it here first.
I said what I said, and I did not stutter. Look, Adam Gase was, 9-23 with the Jets?
Yeah.
I'll say John Harbaugh's within 3 games of that, and he's fired after 2 years.
Okay. Is the expectation really that high?
Do you think they hired him to do what Brian Daboll did?
I mean, the hope was no. Clearly.
No. Take the hope out. All right, so I'm going to go a little deep on this. John Harbaugh was the ace in the hole in this coaching cycle, fact or fiction. That was the one that you look at and go, I know what you are. He's going to get the most money. He did. And he's going to have his choice of job.
Yeah.
You just fired Brian Daboll, who went 9-7, 6-11, 3-14, 2-8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those last 2 years were terrible. If you go 9-7-1 and 6-11 in the first 2 years, John Harbaugh will get fired too. Because Brian Daboll was not. He was a hot hire, but he had been in the league for a long time. I mean, Daboll got his first job in the NFL in 2009. He'd been in the league for 13 years off and on because he did spend 5 years at Alabama. They gave him 4 years. John Harbaugh's not Brian Daboll. It's not, we're learning on the job. I hired him to be competitive right now, and I got news for you, you're not. And if you look at that schedule and you could find me more than 5 wins, you're seeing something that I'm not.
Well, you have to have a competent, healthy roster to put out there. And unfortunately, 2 of the players that you're probably going to try to lean on, they don't have a good track record already.
Well, I mean, Scatterbo doesn't. Jackson Dart is a little reckless, and you just stuck him out there in a preseason game, and you were so absolutely inept at checking a corner that Brian Daboll blitzed a corner in a preseason game and absolutely blew your quarterback up. You know why that doesn't happen? Because most coaches are smart enough to go, he struggles with this. Maybe I shouldn't do this. You remember that run, pass, punt thing I told you about? Mm-hmm. There's a reason smart coaches do that. There's also a reason, if you look at John Harbaugh's track record, his teams have been killed every single year. Every year. They deal with injuries every year.
Yep.
How many houses do you have to live in that catch on fire before you go, hey, maybe you should stop getting drunk and leaving the oven on, dum-dum? Because that's where I'm at with John Harbaugh. I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm not sure that a golden doodle couldn't have coached the Baltimore Ravens to 9-8 at least 70% of the time over the last 20 years. But we treat John Harbaugh like, oh, no, it's not Ozzie Newsome, and it's not Eric DeCosta, and it's not this hammer scouting department. No, it's John Harbaugh. Oh, you mean the guy that alienated his quarterback? You mean the guy that players have talked about behind his back for 10 years of running practices that are too aggressive and lead to these teams being hurt every single year? That's the guy you're trying to sell me on? Now you put him in the biggest media market in the country with hope. I'll say that same thing I just said about Tua Tagovailoa. Cam Scatterbo has Tim Tebow disorder. He's not nearly as good as you think he is. Him being ringside at a UFC fight, that doesn't happen if he's not in New York. If he's the starting running back for the Cleveland Browns, I promise you're not seeing him at UFC fights. It's different in New York.
Mm-hmm. All right. John Harbaugh. 2 years. That's all he's got. Didn't he earn more than that? You said they gave Brian Daboll 4. In my book, John Harbaugh should get more than that.
Well, Brian Daboll went 9-7-1, went to the playoffs with a team that I'm not sure. Not only to go to the playoffs, he won a game in the playoffs with a team that was, I'll go on a limb and say, not any better than what he has right now. You had Saquon Barkley, or he had Saquon Barkley. You have Malik Neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember who the leading receiver on that team was? I'll give you a minute to think about that one.
No.
And frankly, I'll give it to you if you get one of the top 3. Because it was Darius Slayton, Richie James, and Isaiah Hodgins. That was a team that Matt Brado was a pretty consistent piece on. He went to the playoffs with that. And trust me, New Yorkers remember that. I've been around that fan base for 30-plus years. I didn't say it was rational. I said it's the way it is. And you know it when you take this job. So New York fans are looking at, you have a quarterback you drafted in the first round. You have a running back that's their guy. You got the best receiver on this team you've had since Odell Beckham Jr. The offensive line's not great, but it's allegedly getting better because you keep putting draft capital into it. Oh, by the way, you've also got 4 pass rushers. So what happens when your defense is an absolute sieve? Who do you think they're going to blame for that? You think they're going to blame Brian Burns? What about Arvell Reese? What about Kayvon Thibodeau? What about Abdul Carter? They're going to blame Denard Wilson. They're going to blame John Harbaugh. And I don't know how hard you've looked at that Giant schedule. If you're 2-5 going into the bye week, you should be walking on sunshine. And there's not many winnable games on the backside of it either.
All right. Top 25 came out today. Most overrated team of the year so far.
I mean, you know who I'm going to say.
Not named Georgia.
Georgia would be my one. I don't see what Georgia has that puts them at 3. And I mean, I'll do the same thing I did on the early show today. If you look at the quarterbacks in the top 10, Gooner Stockton is the answer to one of these things. Is not like the others. I mean, you go in order from 10 to 1. John Mateer, Trinidad Chambliss, Marcel Reed, excuse me. Marcel Reese was oddly enough fullback for the Raiders. Darian Mensah, Josh Hoover, Arch Manning, C.J. Carr, Gooner Stockton, Dante Moore, Julian Sayin. One of those things is not like the others. One of those things is just not real good. So getting them to 3, okay. Okay then.
And after that?
I mean, you want me to go 11 to 20?
No, I thought you were leading to another one. You said other than Georgia, and then trailed off on Trash and Gooner again.
Oh, I mean, Georgia's the only one I look at and go, Ole Miss doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I don't know how you think that offense is going to stay the same with no Lane Kiffin.
Right.
I mean, have you ever seen the record of teams that Lane Kiffin leaves? That next year does not tend to go particularly well. And having them at 9 is wild to me, especially ahead of LSU. LSU, who has a better coach, a better quarterback, better weapons. How are they 11?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you do play them in week 3, and I have a funny feeling that LSU is going to stomp Ole Miss's guts out. Am I wrong?
Say absolutely. I mean, they're definitely going for blood.
Oh, if LSU can hang 70 on Ole Miss, they will. After the way they treated Lane Kiffin on the way out, they will beat you by 60 points if they get the opportunity. And trust me, they have the players to do it.
Mm-hmm. There's Bama at 13.
I mean, you know how I feel about Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the NFL players. I don't see the NFL quarterback. We still don't know who the quarterback is. I mean, I'm on record as saying I think they can go to Kentucky and lose in week 2. And it wouldn't shock me at all.
Michigan at 16. We didn't talk about that in the in the first show of the day. And I've seen a lot of comments of, should Michigan even be ranked? Are they loaded again? Or is this just another team that might be good?
I mean, look, Bryce Underwood, there's a lot of talent in that kid. It did not go – I don't think it was bad, but I don't think it was what anybody thought it would be in year 1. If he takes a step forward, I mean, look, I don't see a step back from to Kyle Whittingham, do you? I mean, Sharon Moore to Kyle Whittingham, you got better at head coach.
Sure, yeah.
You certainly got a lot more faithful.
Yes, you got more steady at coach.
Steady was a nicer way of saying that, but I liked my way better. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I think Michigan might be the team that we look back on and go, got snowed on that one, because they play Oklahoma in week 2, and I'm very high on Oklahoma. They play Iowa. Both of those games are at Michigan, so you got a shot. The thing about Michigan is virtually every tough game they play is at home until the end of the season when they have to play. When they have to go to Oregon and to Ohio State, and neither one of those is going to go particularly well for you.
Right.
I mean, the hope is that you're cruising into that 8-1, but then you're going to get flatlined twice by Oregon and Ohio State.
Right.
But I mean, 16, that team probably finishes 9-3, and I don't
Okay.
see a reason Michigan can't finish 9-3.
Okay.
Is there a team you think's under? You asked me about overvalued. Is there a team you think is being undervalued?
Undervalued? No, I mean, not off the top of my head.
I
would say, you know, it might be like Clemson, because I couldn't tell you that they're going to be good, but they might be better than Missouri.
I mean, the problem with Clemson is the way the schedule starts. That's voters being very cautious because they know Clemson plays LSU week 1, and that's going to tell us everything. Look, if they beat LSU in Death Valley, okay.
Well, they'll be top 20 week 2 at least.
If they beat LSU in Death Valley, they'll be top 15 off the rip. I watched it. Florida State landed at 7 after beating an Alabama team that was mediocre at best.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
LSU is not mediocre. Clemson wins that game, we can talk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you will. Vegas doesn't think you will. Until they do it, I get why Clemson is where they are. The ones that I'm looking at going, you're going to regret you did that. TCU, because TCU plays absolutely nobody, and they've got a high-end quarterback. I think South Carolina's a little low. I think Oklahoma State is a little low. And I think Louisville's a little low. Louisville's going to be that team that has a bunch of wins that sound way better than they are. Especially when they beat Ole Miss in week 1. Already called my shot on that one.
Beat a top 10 team there. And then who? Good Lord, there ain't nobody on that schedule that's considered good.
No, but they're going to sound better than they are. You beat Ole Miss. You beat SMU. You beat Florida State. You beat Georgia Tech. You close out with a win over Kentucky. All of those sound better than they are, except Kentucky, which is actually probably better than it sounds. The rest of it, I mean, the only other team, there's only 2 other teams on the schedule they could lose to, and it's Pitt and NC State. If Louisville goes 10-2, I will not be surprised in the least.
Well, no. Because even if you tripped up against the SEC team at the beginning of the season, and I'll say maybe you do that bookend thing where you lose the SEC teams at the beginning and the end of the year, and the rest of it you just run through your non-conference in the ACC, because, well, honestly, the ACC is not very good, and you don't have to play Clemson.
Nope.
You don't have to play Miami.
I do find it funny that the ACC clarified their tiebreaker rules. They actually probably made them more convoluted, and you're still going to run into the same problem of there's going to be a tie, and I'm going to venture a guess somebody's going to disagree with who you pick. Because I think the second best team in the ACC, there are 5 teams that have a legit claim to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, then it goes to the computers. Then we go to the strength of schedule and the strength of record and all of those.
Oh, yeah, that's worked so well. The BCS is on line 1. It works so well.
What did they call it? It was like this is some kind of index or something that they were going to be using.
It was a glorified way of saying the eyeball test.
Pretty much. It was like, hey, remember when we had that team last year that beat Notre Dame, and then we just let them out? Or we left them out of the ACC championship game? Yeah, that's not happening again. We're not doing it.
You got a caller?
Head over to the call-in line, 864-240-5480. This is the Sportsocracy. Welcome into the show. Who's this?
Hey, good afternoon. This is Rocky.
What's
you hear
up,
me?
Rocky?
How are you, Rocky?
Doing all right. Hope you guys are. You're talking. I heard you're going over the AP top 25, and I mean, it's a poll for us to talk about, and the poll that matters we won't see for a while. But there's on a national show this morning. The top 25 last year, the AP top 25, I think 13. I think I heard that. I think it's 13, give or take one or whatever. 13 of the top 25 from the opening AP poll last year did not finish in the poll. So that's it's always interesting to see, you know, the voters, the writers, and all that stuff. But we'll see. And then you were talking about the quarterbacks there, and just talking about quarterbacks, and I started thinking, well, let's see on South Carolina's schedule. Well, they face Mateer at Oklahoma, that quarterback for Texas A&M, who's supposed to be good, and then Gunner Stockton at Georgia. So South Carolina plays those 3 quarterbacks, and all 3 of those quarterbacks are projected to be kind of in this top quarterback class that's expected for next year, along with others.
Mateer is going to be a really interesting evaluation. He has Will Levis disease. Of his arms are too big. I actually got into a long discussion last week about how big is too big for a quarterback's arms, because Mateer showed up to that Manning Passing Academy and looked like a fullback. Mm-hmm. I mean, his arms are legit as big as my thighs, and that has never ended well for quarterbacks.
Well, and he does. I mean, South Carolina's got A&M. I mean, they go to Oklahoma. He does tend to. I think the knock on him. I mean, he's got major size and all that stuff, but he does throw the ball around the yard a little bit, maybe to the other colored jersey, a little bit.
You got to be careful with the tape on Mateer. So Mateer got hurt in the middle of last year. And there are times, it's called throw the tape away, of a guy's playing hurt, you can tell. I don't know exactly what was wrong with him, but when you start seeing huge discrepancies from week 2 to week 10, you just assume there's something wrong with a guy. I mean, I knew he was hurt. You could tell the look on his face. Every time he got hit, he looked like somebody hit him in the head with a sledgehammer. So I've kind of burned that tape from the second half of last year. I'm going in with kind of new eyes on Mateer.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see on that, but I just think there's I just love South Carolina's schedule, the who they play, where they play, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a good schedule. It's a manageable schedule. I think South Carolina can beat some teams. They're going to have to show some people some things. There's still questions for them, including this person talking to you. I still have question marks, although I'm cautiously optimistic about the season, the teams they play, where they play them. I think they got the right teams at home, and I think they have manageable teams on the road that they might can beat, and that includes Alabama. And that'll be the fourth game of the season, and that's gonna say a lot. Really, you early in the season, South Carolina should be 3-0 going to going to Bama and seeing how that goes.
If you're not,
but
you
the
got
teams
big
they got
questions.
at home versus the teams they got on the road, I think it's a good mix, and they're going to have to win some road games if they're going to have a successful season, and they're going to have to hold serve at home.
South Carolina,
you're just going to have to win those games at home. You know what I mean?
South Carolina's the way this schedule is layered. The funny thing about South Carolina is the games that you're not expecting to be the ones that tell me a lot will be the ones that tell me a lot. So I heard Tank's.
Right.
He said if you're not 3-0, you have a lot of questions. Mississippi State's not the layup people think they are. Jeff Lebby's got that offense. It is going to be significantly better than people think. So I feel like that top month, so from the first week of September to the first week of October, you got Kent State, Towson, Mississippi State, Kentucky all at home. Then you got that one at Alabama that I feel like is the one that South Carolina fans are probably going to circle. I will probably learn more from Mississippi State and Kentucky about where South Carolina is. Because if you can't get up for Alabama, you probably shouldn't be playing D1 college football. So you go to T-Town with the chance to beat them. The question is, how does Kendall Briles and how does Shane Beamer get them up for a Mississippi State team and a Kentucky team that everybody is going to tell them, you have a handful of first-round picks in the NFL draft, you have more talent than them, and you're at home. You should win both of those games, but both of those games are infinitely more losable than people think. So if you can win those two, even if you lose at Alabama.
100%, Jeremy, because as a longtime Gamecock fan for many, many, many years, those are the exact games when you think they should win them that can cost them certain things in the season that they lose. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just happens.
Those are games.
It happens, and historically, I can validate it. So
those are games as a coach that you have to really have a synergy with your team, because it's natural for you to look forward when you play Mississippi State because you're at home, you're comfortable, you're sleeping in your own bed, you're looking ahead to a team that's not nationally ranked, not getting any love whatsoever. They won't really have played anybody up into that point. It is really easy to look past them to Alabama. Then you play that game, no matter what happens, win, lose, there is no draw, but win or lose, that Alabama game cannot beat you a second time. So when you get Kentucky in there, and I remember them playing Kentucky last year, and Kentucky got them. And it was just that team was not as ready to play. And so I will take a lot from that game against Mississippi State, that game against Kentucky, as to what South Carolina will be in 2026.
And I'll let you go on this. And you mentioned Shane, Coach Beamer, which I'm very highly think of Shane Beamer, and I hope he's able to remain the South Carolina coach. I really like him. I like the way he does. But I am really going to be Kendall Briles, the new offensive coordinator. I think he's going to make a big difference. I think it's going to be offensively. And look, I didn't play football, but I played basketball, and I played baseball, but played basketball. And when you're running up and down the floor and you're clicking on all cylinders offensively, you're scoring the ball and everything, it just has a great effect on the other side of the court, on the defensive side, when you're succeeding there. And I just hope, from a football standpoint, with South Carolina and having probably, hopefully, a more, as a fan, just watching the game and watching the offensive style that they play, that will carry, and scoring points that will carry over to the defensive side, because defensively last year in the fourth quarter and in the second half, where they were in so many games, I mean, they got outscored so bad in the fourth quarter yesterday. And sometimes I think that was just because the defense was so gassed because the offense couldn't do anything. And when your defense is on, I don't care how good your defense is, if you're on the field all the time, sooner or later, you're just going to run out of gas and get tired.
No doubt.
Anyway, those are kind of my thoughts, Yep.
We appreciate you as always, Rocky. I will tell you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeremy. Have a good buddy.
You as well. Kendall Briles, when he was at Florida State, I can tell you there was an element to tempo is being used less as time goes on because teams are figuring out the problem with tempo is that we go 3 and out so fast that it's really easy to get on the wrong side of the fatigue battle. And so I will be really interested in those first 3 SEC games to see how that works at South Carolina because it did not work in the ACC. Also, coached by Willie Taggart, and I think Willie Taggart could mess up, boiling water. So
864-240-5480. That is the call-in line for the Sportsocracy here on 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate. You can text the program at 864-777-9593. Save all of those ways to get in touch with the program as well for the overtime coming up tonight. 7 to 9, immediately following this here program with Jeremy and Trey. Don't forget, you can chat with us in the YouTube stream. Just find us, The Sportsocracy, on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, and that's how you get into the chat. And then, of course, if you're listening along on the iHeartRadio app, don't forget, you can have the use of the talkback button, that little microphone on the screen. Just leave us a message, shoot us a question at your leisure. We'll be back right here on 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate, after this.
Sports Upstate weather.
This is WIFF News 4 Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice with your forecast. We've got thunderstorms clearing out as we go throughout the overnight hours. Temperatures will drop down to the mid-70s, up to 94 on Tuesday. Those temperatures are going to be really hot, especially when you factor in the humidity, feeling like 100 to 105. That intense heat continues Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday before some rain and a front. Cool us back down to where we should be this time of the year, back to around 90 by the weekend.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Oh, that grinding and squealing. What are you going to do about that?
Time for new brakes. The chain store never has what I need.
Don't worry.
Hey, guys, we got Neil on the line.
Brands at lower prices.
September.
And do you want to stack this break?
Yeah, we might as well because we ran way over on that one.
Okay, I thought so. I'll stack it.
10-4.
States, that means South Carolina, from Texas to California to Florida. Every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with code 1049. Spend $5 to get $150 in rewards within 14 days. That's code 1049. In partnership, DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC-registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms, dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook, predictions, and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-IHEART.
In this edition of the Marketers Report, Kelsey Agostinelli, Vice President of Marketing Operations for Mars, talks about the mindset of the listener.
Trust in a platform or trust in a brand comes from transparency. I think there's nothing wrong with leveraging AI to be more personal, to reach more people, allow creativity in places that it couldn't come from without it. However, when you're communicating messages transparently, whether that's from a brand, from a media platform, from a podcast, we have to be transparent about what that is, who you're listening to, where it comes from. iHeart's commitment to being uniquely human is all about transparency. Leverage the tools where they make sense, but don't fool anyone.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to all the audiences, live events, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow, and all guaranteed human. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual.
You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Hi, I'm Lourdes Stefan, host of Univision's Sal y Pimienta. Cancer treatment can steal your beauty, confidence, and self-esteem. It causes changes in your skin and your hair. But Look Good, Feel Better can help. Visit lookgoodfeelbetter.org to find a workshop in your area. Let us help you feel like you again.
This is 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Thompson. To learn about foster care, visit thompsoncff.org. Every child deserves stability, love, and a chance to thrive. Thompson walks alongside foster families with training, support, and care that transforms lives. Discover how you can make a difference at thompsoncff.org.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run. Because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in last.
The heat of summer is here. Call the name everyone trusts when your HVAC starts failing or stops cooling. McGee Heating and Air. When you call McGee Heating and Air, you'll speak with a real person. And for a limited time, get up to $1,200 off on a qualifying Train system. McGee Heating and Air, your Train comfort specialist. Provides comfort you can count on, people you can trust. McGee Heating and Air online at McGeeHVAC.com. That's McGeeHVAC.com. Remember, it's hard to stop a train.
On the Dan Scott Show, we get to do two of my favorite things. That's talk about faith and sports, bring them all together. 8 a.m. every Sunday, the Dan Scott Show presented by Ingles, just for you here on Fox Sports Upstate.
For contesting on the station, go to 1049foxsports.com/rules.
Ice Cube's Big 3 season has come down to this. The Big 3 Championship is coming to Charlotte. Who will be crowned the Big 3 Season 9 champion? Plus the Big 3 All-Star Game. The biggest names in the game, all on one court, one more time. 2 games of the most physical, competitive, and non-stop 3-on-3 action. The game played the way you love. Watch live Saturday on CBS at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and catch replays Monday on BET.
Imagine you're reading Pride and Prejudice, except you're not reading it. Harris Dickinson and Marissa Abella are reading it to you on Audible. Her barbs sting you. His coldness sends a shiver up your spine. Your heart aches. Your ears burn. You yearn for Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy to profess their undying love for one another. You can't bear it any longer. Well, maybe a chapter longer. Performance is so good, you'll give love a second chance. Audible. Stories that speak to you.
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding the unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy.
Brought to you live by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings.
We have breaking news. Tank, hit the button.
It's 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate. This is the Sportsocracy, and it is the last call for callers and texts here on this episode. Of course, more phone calls, more texts coming up on Overtime with Jeremy and Trey.
All of them.
7 to 9.
Notorious in our YouTube chat said, I'm going to have to kidnap Jeremy to get his top 25 rankings. I feel like I figure out where my rankings would be, and I think we could release that in overtime.
There you go. There you go. The ginger top 25 coming up next here on
the mullet top 26. Business in the front, party in the back.
Only on the Roo, Fox Sports Upstate. You can give us a call at the call-in line, 864-240-5480, 864-240-5480. Last call again, and last call for text, 864-777-9593. Let's go over to the phone lines where Neil's still hanging on.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, Neil. How you doing, man?
What's going on, Jeremy? What's going on, Tank? Listen, first of all, when I called the first couple of times, I thought you guys were kind of like the old regime here. I thought you only wanted to talk NFL. Then I heard other people bringing up other stuff. That lit up my mind a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay. We can talk NBA. We can talk WNBA. I'm not going to ever talk baseball unless it's to throw it under the bus. But so
that's always welcome.
Throwing you guys under the bus. Speaking of buses, I'm about to throw both of you guys under the bus. But let's start. Can I start in the NBA real quick?
Absolutely.
Quick, couple comments. First of all, as a man that's 50, if you think LeBron James is the greatest basketball player ever over Michael Jordan, it's one of two reasons. Number one, because you have an agenda, or number two, because you've never seen Michael Jordan play basketball live, like on your TV set, but live. You just never saw it. You could go back through the tape. There is no comparison. There is no argument, and I've said this before. LeBron James is the greatest. Him and Bo Jackson are the two greatest single athletes in their respective sport that I've ever seen. However, that doesn't make you the greatest basketball player. Michael Jordan is in a league by himself, and then everybody else follows. And if I wanted to start throwing around, Kareem would be second, more because of his defensive prowess, but we'll get into that at some other time. Now, WNBA, real quick, before we get into football, of course. Almost football season, baby. Listen, I love WNBA. I'm one of the few people, and I probably won't have a lot of other callers on your show that I like the WNBA. And I get this thing with Caitlin Clark. Look, I understand the race thing and a lot of this racial baiting going on online. Caitlin Clark is not one of the best guards in the WNBA. She is maybe the best passer in the WNBA. She also leads the league in turnovers. Now, I know a lot of people are going to make the other argument, oh, yeah, but they can't control her passes. I guess everybody else in the league, they're going to, I guess their passes are just not as good as Caitlin's, and for some reason they can't catch her passes, whatever. I understand all that. She's not even the best player on her team. However, for some of these people that just dislike her because of her skin color, come on, it's 2026. Angel Reese, she's a great player, no matter what color she is. She can't throw it down from inside the paint. I mean, I don't understand. The girl has no touch at all. But man, she is a rebounding machine. She does change the defensive side. She is great on that side, which Caitlin Clark is not. But my whole point is, it is time for us to what makes sports great, guys, is the arguments between us all, because we all think we know everything and when none of us really do. But that's what makes sports great. And that's why I'm going to get to my NFL. Because you guys, you got my blood pressure running last week. Something I wasn't able to call. But I heard you guys talking about, obviously, the GOAT, Tom Brady, okay? Now, I'm not foolish enough to sit here on your radio show and tell you that I'm going to make an argument that Tom Brady is not the GOAT, okay? But when we're going to throw out stats, let's make the stats count. And I'm going to start with Peyton Manning, because I've said for years that I think Peyton Manning is the most overrated football player that I have personally ever seen. Is he great in the regular season? Absolutely. The argument has always been, Peyton Manning never had a great defense. Okay, let's look at this. In his career, 17 seasons, he had a top 15 defense 10 times, bottom 15 defense 7 times, okay? Top 10 defense 8, top 5 defense 4. How many years out of his 17-year career did he have a bottom 5 defense? One freaking time, okay? It was not the defense, okay? Second of all, and this is my trivia question of the day for you guys, the first year that the Colts won the Super Bowl over the Saints with Peyton Manning, and I asked this to Rich, and Rich almost sounded like he was going to call me out. He had to check it. He never responded after this. What was Peyton Manning's touchdown to interception ratio in the playoffs the year that they won the Super Bowl the first time against the Saints? Without cheating.
It wasn't good. I'm gonna go with Tank. I think it was about 1-1.
3 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Oh wow, it's even worse than I thought it was. I remember there was one gnarly
3
game in that.
touchdowns,
I can't remember who it was.
7 picks. Now, I'm not saying Peyton Manning was not a great quarterback. Do not get this construed. I just think people just automatically watched him in the regular season. They see all those gaudy numbers he put up, all the touchdowns, all this. He had the reins of like no other quarterback to go out there and just do whatever he wanted. That made him great by itself. We all know that that's hard to do. However, I think he is just overrated as far as when people just start talking about quarterbacks. That's just my opinion. 3 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I think a lot of the times, and I think my brother Billy, he calls you, I don't know if he's called you guys yet, he calls Rich all the time. He lives over in the Upstate, I do not, but he kind of made a point that I think he said it was Booger McFarland that had a story that he was telling on air one day that he went up to the coach and said, look, just run the damn ball. And that tells you a lot. Peyton Manning was their quarterback at that point. Just run the damn ball. But anyways, so let's get to the Tom Brady GOAT, right? I heard you guys last week, 107 and 50. Was that the record that you guys said as far as his one-score games?
Yes. In games that he started that ended in 1 score, he was 107 and 50.
Wow. Now, that's impressive. However, I knew it because I looked it up to make sure it was correct. That's impressive. But let's dig a little deeper into that. In those 157 games, his defense gave up 18 points per game. That would be top 10 in defense every year for the last decade.
Yep.
His offense on the other side, and this is regular season included, was scoring 22 points a game. That wouldn't be top 10. If you go throughout the last decade of football, they would not be in the top 10. As a matter of fact, they wouldn't even be in the top 15 in points per game during those games, but 4 times out of the 10 years. The other 6, he would have been outside the top 15. So my point is, we can throw stats, we can do whatever we want to go this and that and the other. And, of course, I'm biased. I'm a 49er fan for life. Started loving them because Montana beat my brother's Cowboys, and he started crying. He was a little kid. I was a little kid. And I liked it. I'm colorblind. I only see certain colors. Gold and red are 2 of the colors I can actually see, so it just kind of was a natural fit. So I'm a little biased. But I can tell you this right now. I will not argue that Tom Brady is the GOAT because longevity matters. You know, going and doing some of the things that he's accomplished, accomplishments matter. However, I will stick to this, and I'll take it off the air. If I have 1 game, 1 half, 1 quarter, 1 drive, I'm taking Joe Montana, and I am not thinking twice about it. I don't care unless Jesus Christ come down here right now and told me otherwise. I'm taking Joe Montana every time, and I'm taking him twice on Sunday, boys. Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. We appreciate you, Neil. There's a lot to unpack there. So I'm gonna start. Michael's the greatest basketball player of all time. You'll never get an argument from Tank or I on that ever. The WNBA thing, the WNBA is doing a really good job of being handed a goose that defecates golden eggs, and you're doing everything in your power to screw it up. You can take that to mean whatever you want it to. In large part, the fact that you don't call fouls on a team that said Golden Goose plays for. Officiating of the WNBA is horrible. Great product that they're doing everything in their power to screw up. Now, Tank, I want your opinion on this one. You do politics in the morning. I hate politics. The reason I hate politics is that you can use stats and you can use facts to tell any story that you want to. The same thing applies in sports. The stat we told on Brady, I can look at it 2 different ways. He has the greatest record of all time in 1-score games, and it's not close by percentage of wins. If you want to go the Montana route, he only played in 67 of them in his entire career. Every other game he played was more than a 1-score, either deficit or win, and I believe half of his losses were in 1-score games. Total. There's a lot that goes into that. That San Francisco team was stacked. We just watched Roger Craig get inducted in Canton. Jerry Rice is one of the greatest receivers of all time. Dwight Clark's one of the most underrated tight ends of all time. And they had a ton of players on that defense. That's not undervaluing Montana at all. The thing about when you get into quarterbacks, and I kind of want to tie this into some guys that I throw a lot of shade at in the modern era. There's an it factor of when they have the ball inside of 2 minutes and the game's on the line, there are just certain guys that they're going to make it happen. Montana was one. Brady was one. There have been a lot. There have been a lot over the years. I think Peyton was one. There have been a lot of guys that they just make it happen. Those are the GOATs. Putting that title on one guy is really hard to – it's really hard to say that it was just one. There have been a lot of really high-end quarterbacks that have played in this league. Montana was definitely one. Brady was definitely one. There have been a lot. I have a funny feeling that nobody can hear me on the radio right now. Trey cannot hear me, which is a good sign that nobody else can hear me. I'm pretty sure that we're in the middle of just an absolute deluge of a rainstorm that may have knocked us off. I cannot see the server, so I cannot tell you if we are on or not. But I will be able to tell you in just a second.
Name member FDIC.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong.
You
like
got me,
a
Trey?
social media manager.
Got you now.
Just post our Q4
Pretty sure
earnings to your
Tank just
personal
died.
social media.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Use the trending audio and everything.
So
That's confidential.
there is a... Uh-oh.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Sorry, I dropped it down so I could hear you better.
Oh, you dropped it literally as my power flickered.
Gotcha.
There is a storm that is happening outside that is the end of days.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so, Take's gone then.
Okay, yeah, Tank's gone. What? I can't see the clock yet. It's coming back.
Let's see. We got about 15 seconds before we come back from this break. Your new out's going to be 50. I will tell you in a second. Sorry, I'm trying to do some math. 58, 50, 57, 20.
Okay.
All season long.
Download the iHeartRadio app.
Search NFL and press play.
.1049 Fox Sports Upstate. He's Trey Falco. I'm Jeremy Greene. See, this is the beauty of having two hosts on a show. When one of them goes the way of the dodo bird, the other can pick up the pieces. So, Tank, can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes.
Trey, can you hear Tank?
I cannot.
You cannot. That is not a good sign. I was afraid of that. And I'm afraid that if I hit the button that will allow you to hear Tank, now you're going to hear Tank on repeat over and over and over and over and over again. So we're not going to do that. We will just finish out the show here today with no Tank. So if you're wondering what just happened, I can only tell you from my perspective, Tank and I are about 10 miles apart. We were making the point. We heard everything Neil said. It was a great call. And then we responded. I'm not sure how much of my response you actually heard because everything in my house flickered. And I think maybe the good Lord upstairs was angry about something we said, either about the WNBA or Michael Jordan or something. I'm not sure what angered him, but everything went completely black. And now it is completely black outside. And I mean, I'll just go ahead and tell you, if it happens again, I loved you all, and you all meant a lot to me, because it might be the end for old J. Rome.
Hey, hold on now. You got 2 more hours of radio.
I do. And my internet connection here is very stable, so long as we don't lose power, which there is something happening outside that doesn't look warm and fuzzy. Let's put it that way. But that was a great call from Neil. He had a lot of good points. I will recap my response as quickly as I can. You'll never get an argument out of Tank and I on Michael ahead of LeBron. You'll never get an argument from Tank and I on Michael ahead of everyone. Forever and for always. That is the one. To what Neil said about the WNBA, I believe the WNBA was handed a golden goose, and they are doing everything in their power to behead the golden goose. Sometimes figuratively and sometimes metaphorically. The officiating in the WNBA is absolutely terrible. You're also letting the politics of sports get involved in the sports, which is always a bad sign. Sports is escapism. We do not want the real world to get into our escapism. It has happened many times over the years, and it has virtually never gone well. Now, as for what he said about Joe Montana and Tom Brady and who was the GOAT, the beauty of sports is that stats will always tell a story. The funny thing is, much like politics, I can always find a stat that will tell a different story. Tom Brady has the greatest record ever by winning percentage in one-score games. If you want to go the flex side and go Joe Montana, why was Joe Montana in so many fewer one-score games than Tom Brady? His entire career, if I remember correctly, I think it was 67 that he played in total. If you want to go the Joe Montana route, that's the beauty. And like Neil said, we all think we're right. Some of us are, and a lot of times we're not. But that's the beauty of discussing sports. It's the reason Tank and I have jobs. It's the reason we join you right here every weekday on the Roo.
10 seconds.
Brought to you by Ingles Markets. Stay tuned. Overtime with Trey and I is next. We'll see you tomorrow right here on 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate.
For advertising, call 844-844-IHEART.
Harley-Davidson of Greenville has the largest pre-owned inventory in the Carolinas, period. If you're ready to ride, your bike is waiting at 30 Chrome Drive in Greenville.
All right, bro. Yeah, you went to the dark place, and I was watching the clock like,
For knee replacement, trust the expert who collaborated with Stryker to refine the new
we'll be in the morning.
robotic power system.
We got to go to LOS
board-certified
like
orthopedic
11,
surgeon, Dr. Frank Armacida at the Surgery Center at Pelham.
With this technology,
sounds good.
I can put it with such a high level of precision that I'm getting it within a fraction of a millimeter and really make a custom fit for each individual patient.
Schedule your consultation at the world's first ASC to offer Mako RPS for total knee replacement. Surgery Center at Pelham.com.
This summer, the honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich and pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
You stepped out for your morning jog, except it's not your usual morning jog. You started listening to an epic sci-fi book on Audible. 30 chapters later, you've accidentally run a half marathon. You lost track of how far you've run, somewhere just past the city limits. You can't stop. You have to find out what happens next. Then it's over. The universe seems bigger. You feel different. You feel like you have no idea where you are. Audible. Stories that speak to you.
Now in stock at Lowe's, get the roofing brand you trust, including GAF, Owens Corning, and CertainTeed, with more colors to choose from.
Just
Order by
sure.
4 p.m. and get next day job site delivery on select items as early as 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, I'm not going to say my connection can't drop, but if mine drops, you should probably
Number
send
one
live
on your
photos.
car radio preset hand, the new and improved.
I can do that. I've got ESPN, or not ESPN, Fox Sports right here on the board.
If mine drops, you should send lifeboats because something very bad just happened.
I got you.
We have 3 transformers around my building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if we lose power, something bad just happened.
Okay.
It can flicker for a second, but I'll usually come right back because one of the backups will kick on.
Yeah.
Tanks, on the other hand, he does not have that.
Yeah, I've picked up on that.
His connection is tray sensitive.
Yeah.
has found no evidence showing Los Angeles Clippers owner Steve Ballmer funneled money through team sponsors to pay Kawhi Leonard in order to circumvent the salary cap. Instead, the NBA is focused whether the team's introduction of Leonard to team sponsors constitutes a violation of league rules about salary cap circumvention. The league is examining whether the Clippers are guilty of failure to supervise employees. And Live Golf announced on Monday it has canceled its scheduled individual and team championships set to be played in Michigan later this month. The last events for the season is in Indianapolis this week.
104.9 Fox Sports Upstate Weather.
This is WIFF News 4 Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice with your forecast. We've got thunderstorms clearing out as we go throughout the overnight hours. Temperatures will drop down to the mid-70s, up to 94 on Tuesday. Those temperatures are going to be really hot, especially when you factor in the humidity, feeling like 100 to 105. That intense heat continues Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday before some rain and a front. Cool us back down to where we should be this time of the year, back to around 90 by the weekend.
This report is sponsored by Corley Plumbing, Air, and Electric.
Your home deserves dependable care. From plumbing and HVAC to electrical and generators, Corley handles it all with financing options available to make comfort easier. Trust Corley.
Corley Plumbing, Air, and Electric.
Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. I've been scouting these big carriers for a minute now, and I've seen them pull the same play 1,000 times. They promise you the world, then hit you with a price hike right when the game gets tight. But Boost Mobile, their $25 a month unlimited wireless plan is the most consistent player on the floor. No contracts, no price hikes. Unlock the savings today at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months of the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
For a lot of workplaces, the work week doesn't end on Friday. That's why there's EasyCater, the best way to order food from favorite restaurants for your hardworking team, even on weekends. With EasyCater, you'll find great options for any group size and any shift, with tools to help meet dietary needs, stay on budget, and simplify expenses, all backed by our award-winning 24/7 support. EasyCater, your Monday through Sunday workplace food platform. Start an order for your weekend crew at easycater.com.
Last place in your fantasy league isn't just about losing. It's the group chat jokes, the punishment, a full year of hearing about it. I'm JJ Zacharyson, host of the Late Round Fantasy Football Podcast. Our players to target and players to avoid episodes tell you exactly who to circle and who to cross off. We're providing data-driven research on the podcast all season long, so that you're the one talking trash, not taking it. Download the free iHeartRadio app, search the Late Round Fantasy Football Podcast, and listen now.
The games are over, so there's only one thing left to do: overreact. The NFL Draft Nerd is here to weave through the world of sports and separate fact from fiction. Get involved. The call-in line's open at 864-240-5480. You can tweet us, we don't call it X, at the NFL Draft Nerd. Now, here's that creed-loving, bird-fearing, football lunatic, Jeremy Greene.
It's a rainy, getting ready to be stormy, evil Monday night here in Greenville County. We got Trey Falco running the board for us. I am at the NFL Draft Nerd, Jeremy Greene. This is Overtime, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Find them online, ingles-markets.com. This Friday, 4X fuel points. Everybody eats. Just go buy your groceries, save a little money on some gas, and visit our friends that make all this possible. Ingles-markets.com. Trey, has it started to look like World War III in Greenville, or is that just outside my house?
I think that's just, at least in my little part of Greenville, I could see storms kind of off towards the mountains. That's probably you. And everything else is nice, and, it's cloudy, but.
Yeah, I just checked the radar in the break between shows. What is currently berating my house? She's headed your way. So.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, get your galoshes on, because it's headed right down that little corridor.
Keep those in the prize closet. I'll bust them out.
The weather here It's only almost as disappointing as the Miami Dolphins.
Oh,
Miami.
Oh,
Miami.
They're trying.
Do you see what I've been trying to tell you? Which is not that I'm not doing on Malik Willis. I'm doing on your entire team. Because you made Ethan Kaliak-Manis look like Joe Theismann. Malik Willis, 4 of 5 against the second-teamers for the Washington Commanders on Friday night. The other two quarterbacks for the Miami Dolphins combined 4 of 19. 3 interceptions. Let's go. When the second-best quarterback on your roster is a guy that goes 3 of 11 with 2 interceptions, it's a bad day. Quarterback, not QBR, quarterback rating for the other two Dolphins quarterbacks on Friday night combined. Trey, let's play a fun game of Price is Right, closest to the retail price without going over. If you add Cam Miller and Quinn Ewers' quarterback rating together, what number do you get?
Oh, I'm gonna guess 26.
That would be too high. Bear in mind that quarterback rating is a 39 if you throw every pass into the
dirt,
ground.
right? Yeah.
Cam Miller and Quinn Ewers combined for a paltry 3.9.
3? I didn't even know you could get in the single digits.
You know what? I'm not sure the NFL did either. Cam Miller was a 2.3. Quinn Ewers a 1.6. That, my friends, is big, big bad. What's not bad? Calling lines open, 864-240-5480. That's 864-240-5480. Or at any time, you can shoot us a text, 864-777-9593. We have a caller on the line. First caller of overtime. Caller, who's this?
Hey, Jeremy, Rocky again.
Hey, Rocky. How are you, my friend?
New show. And you had a caller, and I caught some of it, but your caller, I guess it was Neil, that was talking at the end. He talked about a few things, but he was talking about Michael and LeBron. And, look, it can be generations or whatever, or eras or whatever you watch, but in my opinion, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. Now, that's it can be debatable with others, but it just got me to thinking, Jeremy, and that was back in the great players and why I watched basketball and who I started following. And really, I was a baseball guy in my younger days until the first basketball player that kindled my interest in basketball was Julius Erving, Dr. J, in the 70s, and that was my first player that I really followed and wanted to watch. And then after him became Bird Magic came along, and then Michael came along, and then Kobe came along, and those players. And then after that, sorry, LeBron, but I haven't been a big NBA watcher really over the last 20-some-odd years like I used to, early on. But all those players, and even LeBron, I would watch games that those players played, regardless of if they won the game or not. But you knew if you watched the game that the Doctor played in, or Bird played in, or Magic played in, or Michael played in, or Kobe played in, or even LeBron played in, you're gonna get a play from one of those guys during that game that's just gonna wow you. And that's why I used to watch. Okay, we got the Lakers are playing in Magic, because Magic's going to do something crazy, or Bird, or Michael, the Doctor in his heyday back in the 70s when he was with the Sixers, and he was just going to do some ungodly play, and Kobe in his prime, and then LeBron. I've seen highlights of LeBron, and he's done crazy things too, but I just wasn't as much of a watcher of the NBA in the last few years, last 10 to 15 years, just because, I don't know, I just you get old, and I'm just you got other things going on. But
the NBA game got worse. That would be any defense. I mean, to me, there are a few non-debatables in life. Today is Monday. Water is wet. Fire is hot. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player that ever lived, and to me, those things are in the same level of certainty. Now, I like how Neil said it, calling in on the Sportsocracy Upstate just a few minutes ago. He said, LeBron James is one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen. He's right. The problem is that LeBron James played a completely different sport than Michael Jordan did. If LeBron James had played in the mid-'90s, especially in the even the early '90s, and I would say it was even worse in the early '90s, I'm not sure that he wouldn't still be complaining in 2026 about a hard foul from Bill Laimbeer in 1992. It was just a completely different game. And so, we get into these cross-generational, comparisons. And it's really difficult to compare because sports evolve. We did it in the NBA. We got rid of the hand check. We got rid of a lot of things. We've done it in the NFL. We've done it in college football. I saw a great story over the weekend of how tempo has come down in college football because a lot of coaches have figured out, there's a detriment to tempo of if we go 3 and out quickly, the defense goes back on the field, and then we end up on the wrong side of the fatigue battle. I've never seen that term written in an AP story until over the weekend. I've had coaches tell me that for half a decade.
Yeah, maybe they're getting in the huddle a little bit more, and then the great irony of Michael is that it took him forever to get past the Pistons, and he finally did. Okay? I mean, those great battles between Chicago and Detroit were unbelievable. And watching those games. And then Michael finally eclipses the Pistons and Rodman and Laimbeer and Isaiah Thomas and all those guys or whatever. And then Rodman goes over and plays for the Bulls. That's one of the great irony in sports is that he had to overcome those, and then Rodman goes from the Pistons to the Bulls, and then they win 3 more championships. So that's kind of a great thing about sports. And again, back then, those guys, now I don't think Isaiah and Jordan they don't send each other Christmas cards or anything like that. But the great thing about playing sports, professional sports back then, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, I mean, it's especially the NBA. It was so competitive and all that during the 48 minutes that they would play an NBA game and all that. But there's all those guys that retired from that era are pretty close and have relationships. Listen to Barkley talk. And Kenny Smith on the NBA and Shaq, and listen to those guys talk while they were so competitive, and it was just, oh man, I want to pay this wrong way. I want to cut your throat and beat you during the game. After the game, hey, it's a totally different thing. Back then, even as competitive as it was.
I had a coach once tell me that I want guys that are so competitive. And he was talking about how things had progressed where guys were friendly with each other and things like that. I had a coach once tell me, I would rather you look at an opponent and say you would rather spit in his dinner than sit down and eat it with him. And that's...
Let me tell you this quick story if I got a second. This is going to go way back. It was my senior year in high school. Our school split in Columbia. The high school in the district I went to, Spring Valley High School down there, had been the only school, and then they built a new high school called Richland Northeast, and I went there my senior year. So we were on a basketball team. So a lot of guys stayed at Spring Valley. A lot of guys, I had friends that I played against. So we're in the last game of the year playing against our rivals. I am with the new school and playing against a lot of guys with the old school, and we're at the end of it, and we're in our home gym, and we're all sitting there. Been to a high school game. The girls always play first. The boys play the nightcap, and that kind of thing. So we're sitting there waiting on the girls game, and my buddy, he's sitting there, and our rivals are sitting across the court, and he's and I said, well, where are you going? He said, I'm going to go over here and talk to those boys over there. I said, Austin, why are you going to do that? They're the enemy. We want to beat them. I want to be. Where are you going to talk to them for? Talk to them after the game and all that. And that was my competitiveness. In other words, those are my friends over there on the other end that I used to play with, but now I'm playing against them. And I don't care if they're my friends off the court or not. You're not my friend tonight.
100%.
And, you know, and actually one of my dear friends, one of my great friends, but it was funny. After that night, we did not talk for 2 months. That's how mad he, because my buddy said, Rocky said, I didn't need to come talk to y'all. Y'all the enemy. He didn't want to, yada, yada, and all that stuff. And we're high schoolers, okay? But it's that kind of thing. But it was just that thing. I said, you're my buddy right now. Or you will be my buddy, but right now you're my enemy. That kind of thing. That's the way I was, always.
It's funny, and Rocky, as always, we appreciate the call. Rocky, one of our favorites across all of the shows here on the Roo, 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate. It's funny, this is where the discussion went to start this here program, because it's one of the things that I've been, I hate to use the Jim Rome line here, but it's one of the things that I've been burning on. It's been a weird day. At the end of the show, we'll talk about why it has been a weird day. But it got me thinking about how, as time progresses, our sports, our television, our music, all of the things that we do age. And all of those things become the way of the world, not the way of our world. And I'm sympathetic to this because I'm getting ready to turn 40 years old. I'll be 40 right around the start of free agency in the NFL next year in March. And I'm realizing that I hate all modern music. If it's not country, which I listen to a lot of, or outlaw country or anything in that vein, I couldn't name a pop artist right now. Not one. And the reason is because pop music has changed to cater to an audience that I'm not.
Right.
Television has catered to change to an audience that I'm not. And I always thought it was funny. My mom, when I was a kid, she never watched a lot of television. She liked Friends, she liked Seinfeld, she liked a handful of shows that came on, but as time went on, she watched less and less of modern television. She watched The Waltons, or she watched Little House on the Prairie, or things that were popular when she was young. And I never understood it. And there's a direct tie into sports. As time goes on, you are not the target audience. We got you. The radio stations you listen to, the television shows that you watch, the type of movies you watch, all of those things are baked into you. We become creatures of habit. And as time goes on, things change, and we want to go back to the old days. In football, for me, it's hard hits. I think targeting, I understand why you do it. It is the one rule that has ever made me just absolutely irate with the sport that I love. Neil and Rocky were talking about basketball. To me, basketball has become completely unwatchable. You've done away with defense. You've done away with any schematic advantage whatsoever. It's just who can hit the most threes the most frequently. And as we get ready for this football season, I'm seeing changes in the sport. And I'm seeing things that people are looking back to the old days. They're looking back to what happened in 2012. And they're not, to me, understanding that the game has changed. What do I mean by that? I'll tell you right after this commercial break. He's Trey Falco. I'm Jeremy Greene. This is Overtime, brought to you by our friends at Ingles Markets. Find them online at ingles-markets.com. You can get involved with the program. Hit us on the call-in line, 864-240-5480, or shoot us a text message, 864-777-9593. We'll be back right after this commercial break on 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate.
Golf was my game for decades, but now I'm focused on a new challenge, my heart game. I live with a rare progressive heart condition called ATTR-CM, or transthyretin cardiac amyloidosis. So I'm spreading the word about the common red flags: AFib, shortness of breath, heart failure, and carpal tunnel syndrome. Sound like you? Ask your doctor about ATTRCM and Vindamax.
Vindamax tafamidis is a prescription pill taken once a day to treat adults with ATTRCM to reduce death and hospitalization for heart problems. Tell your doctor about all your medications, medical conditions, and if you have liver problems or nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. There are no known side effects with Vindamax. For prescribing information, call 1-877-278-9632. Learn more at Vindamax.com.
Take charge. Be informed. Ask your doctor about ATTRCM and Vindamax. And tell them Jack sent you.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I survived 9 months in captivity, and I've spent my life exploring how other people survive what should have destroyed them. I'm Elizabeth Smart, and these are the Survivor Files. Every week, I'm with survivors who lived through the unthinkable, abducted, stalked, controlled, and nearly silenced. These are stories about what it takes to make it out alive. Download the free iHeartRadio app, search The Survivor Files with Elizabeth Smart, and listen now.
Feed. Stocking up at Tractor Supply is easy on your wallet with our unbeatable prices on select shavings, retriever dog food, and Producer's Pride animal and poultry feed. From backyards to barnyards, we've got everything to keep your pets, animals, and livestock well fed and comfortable with low prices all summer. At Tractor Supply.
Ice Cube's Big 3 season has come down to this. The Big 3 Championship is coming to Charlotte. Who will be crowned the Big 3 Season 9 champion? Plus the Big 3 All-Star Game. The biggest names in the game, all on one court, one more time. 2 games of the most physical, competitive, and non-stop 3-on-3 action. The game played the way you love. Watch live Saturday on CBS at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and catch replays Monday on BET.
Yay, yay!
You're back in overtime. 104.9 FM, Fox Sports Upstate. He's Trey Falco. I am at the NFL Draft Nerd, Jeremy Greene. And Trey, it's so close. I didn't realize how close it was until today. We had our final production meeting to determine the final schedule for the college football season.
Oh, yes.
I will say everybody on our team looked at me and went, "Are you out of your mind?" There is a 17-day stretch where I don't see a state that's within 3 states of the Carolinas.
I would like to reiterate that. Are you out of your mind?
I spent half a month nowhere near the Carolinas. Spend a bunch of days in Indiana. Look, it's a great job. It's great work if you can get it. But we are very excited about the 2026 Ingles Living the Dream Tour, which will start in Atlanta, Georgia, 3 weeks from Thursday.
Let's go.
Colorado Buffaloes, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Before the break, I teased that as time goes on, things change. And you're no longer we. And when I say we, I'm talking about people that are in my age range. And I'll take my age range being from Trey, you're 32? Is that correct?
Yep.
Trey's 32. I'm 39. Mike Carlisle's a year younger than me. David Smith's a handful of years older than me. Tank Spencer's actually 80. He's got that weird Benjamin Button disorder where he's actually getting younger.
Right.
He looks 40. By the way, Tank's birthday is Thursday. So anyone that wants to wish the Cantankerous a happy birthday, you can do that on our social medias. We have a very Tank celebration planned for the social medias. Basically, he doesn't know we've recorded him doing just really, really weird things. Takes a weird person when a camera turns on. Yep. He dances a lot, like way more than you would think a middle-aged man would. So everybody be sure to wish Tank a happy birthday on Thursday. Eventually, you get to a point where whether it's football, basketball, baseball, any of the sports, they look at you as, we've got you.
Right.
There is nothing the NFL could do that is going to turn me off to where the first weekend in September, I am locked and loaded. This year, we've got a handful of games that we start in week 1 with college football. I mean, I have poo-pooed the quote-unquote week 0 games. We're calling it all week 1 now, which is way smarter than it used to be. I'll be locked and loaded because it's competitive football, and that is my hobby. You have me. If we were bass fishing, the hook I didn't just eat it. It went through my jaw, and now it's going to have to be surgically removed for me to not be locked and loaded on football every Saturday, every Sunday, every Monday, every Thursday in the fall. But as time has gone on, I've realized that football is changing in a way that I don't necessarily understand.
Yeah.
Not that I don't understand the game. It's just not the same game I grew up with. I grew up with the rub some dirt on it, you'll be fine. Now I'm watching load management in preseason games and guys not playing preseason games. That's still a foreign thought for me. But when you think about it, it really makes sense. Trey, we have breaking news in the NFL.
Ah, yes.
I was about to say, I can hear him hitting the button, so I know it's being hit. It's just a question of when the computer decides it wants to play the breaking news button. It's from Ian Rappaport. Saints rookie wide receiver Jordan Tyson, who has been a standout during training camp, is expected to be out roughly 2 months with his hamstring injury, per me and Mike Garafolo. Don't ignore medical red flags. It's a bad idea because they will always burn you at some point. Jordan Tyson had every medical red flag you could possibly ask for. Great player, but the medical red flags are there. Now, what do all these things have to do with each other? There was a time that you didn't see players get hurt as often in the preseason as they do now.
Right.
Our business manager, Megan, she's just getting into football as we speak. And she asked me this morning, are this many injuries common in the NFL? Tank and I both kind of looked at each other and went, well, yeah, this is just what we do. But then I started thinking about it. And they're not. It was not always this common.
I've been thinking about that recently, too. It feels like because I've been covering it for 3 years now, I feel like it's been increasing year over year, even the past 3 years that I've been doing this.
So I'll tell you why that is. There are a slew of injuries that 20 years ago we would have just shot with a little Toradol.
All right.
And you'd have kept playing on it. And as you watch these guys walking around the Hall of Fame and you realize they all have the same walk, maybe it's better that we're doing it this way. Maybe it's better that we're being cautious with injuries. And I'm not specifically talking about Jordan Tyson. I could be talking about Breece Hall.
Sure.
Strained a groin today in practice. Every Jets fan got nice and puckered when they saw Rich Cimini say, non-contact knee injury for Breece Hall. It is more prevalent that we are being more cautious with the injuries. Because as time has gone on, we've realized in the NFL, no matter how you take it, this is what they sign up for. And I mean, I can tell you as one of them, it was not lost on me that, you could get to a point where that's probably going to hurt. And it does. I'm getting ready to turn 40. As I said, there are things that hurt that probably wouldn't hurt if I had never done athletic things. But it's better this way. It's better that we are cautious with injuries. It is better that we are cautious with little nagging things. I've seen 2 separate stories over the last 2 weeks that basically included this. Geno Smith on Friday night. He could have played in a preseason game. He didn't. Why did he not play? Ankle injury. If it was the regular season, could he have played? Absolutely. The preseason just doesn't mean that much. It's not that big of a deal. The only reason the preseason still exists is because the owners don't want to lose a home date, they don't want to lose a home gate, and they don't want to lose the money that comes from selling tickets to preseason games. That's it. There is no other reason. That's the reason you see certain NFL teams that will not trot out a player that has any shot of making the 53-man roster. If he does, it's going to be at the very bottom solely because they ran out of bodies. The Los Angeles Rams played a game yesterday? Day before yesterday?
Yeah.
Saturday. If there were 8 guys that touch that field for the Rams that make the roster, I'll be shocked. Because they don't put anything into the preseason. It doesn't matter. The Cincinnati Bengals are coming around to the idea of maybe we should play our starters because we have historically started slow in September.
Mm-hmm.
We have this burning urge to overreact to everything that we see in the preseason. The game has changed. The only thing that matters to NFL teams is taking the 53 best players that they have on the field and making sure they are as healthy as humanly possible. Because the biggest thing that has changed in the NFL, at least over the, 16-plus years now I've covered this league, I remember a day you would see players and you would go, how in the world did a team get duped into taking this guy? Oftentimes it was my team.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen nearly as much because the game progressed. Scouting got better. It became way more expensive to find your first-round pick because you had 7 scouts that were all over this guy for 24 months before you selected him. That's better. The hit rate on NFL draft picks has never been higher than it is right now. Quarterbacks, that's a different story.
So you're telling me right now Drew Aller is not the future of my franchise?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
But he went 16 and 19 for 3 touchdowns, 2 passing and 1 rushing, and was it 100 and something, 200 some yards? I don't know. I didn't.
What I can tell you, after watching the all 22 of your Pittsburgh Steelers, I can tell you he has got a stick route down to a science.
Yeah, he does.
As I watched that game, I kept thinking, I feel like they're running the same play over and over and over again. And then I went back and watched the all 22, and lo and behold, I was right. They were running the same play over and over and over again.
Hey, your first time watching the Steelers game? What are you talking about? That's all we do.
Well, I mean, you don't have Arthur Smith anymore. He's now the problem of the Ohio State Buckeyes. But what I have noticed is that there are wildly varying approaches to how to deal with bringing along prospects. And where I've noticed it is with the quarterback. So I'll use your quarterback in Pittsburgh, Drew Aller.
Okay.
Notice that Will Howard has kind of dipped in that conversation.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Pittsburgh knows everything about him they need to know. They've known it for a year.
Right.
The reason that I have diminished Will Howard is not because I don't think he's a decent NFL quarterback. I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to be a backup in the league for 10 years.
Yeah.
Everything I've heard out of Pittsburgh for 1 calendar year has been he's a fine backup, but he ain't a starter.
Right.
Years ago, we would beat our heads into this wall for 2, 3, maybe even 4 years trying to figure out if a guy was the guy. We don't do that anymore. Now, look at Will Levis. Will Levis got 1 year on a god-awful team.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans know everything they need to know about him. Not that he won't work in the NFL, but that he won't work here. We have Cam Ward. We need a veteran backup, which will be Mitchell Trubisky. Will Levis will have to find gainful employment elsewhere because it's not going to be here.
If you're Carolina, do you make that call?
To Will Levis?
Yeah.
There are a few teams that I would look at Levis and go, maybe there's something there. The one that I keep coming back to is Baltimore.
Oh, really?
Because I think he fits into what, and I know they're two wildly different quarterbacks, but
yeah.
I think he fits into what they do. Because, I mean, look, Will Levis is more of a runner than he is a passer. He just so happens to have gigantic arms. By the way, don't draft quarterbacks with giant arms. Don't do it. The hit rate is minuscule. If the quarterback you just drafted looks like Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, probably not going to be a great NFL quarterback. I'll give you about 10 examples of that. John Mateer at Oklahoma, I'm looking directly at you. There are several teams that I would make the call on Levis. I just think we've seen it. And so what happens in these situations is that each individual team has their way of bringing along a quarterback. So just think about the guys that we've already seen in the preseason. Carson Beck plays in the Hall of Fame game. Every Cardinal fan loses their mind. What happened in week 2? How many snaps did he play in week 2?
0, right? He didn't play.
Mm-hmm. He didn't play. Why did he not play? They said out loud he could have played if this was a regular season game.
Yeah.
So why did the Arizona Cardinals, a team that is just in desperate need of a quarterback of any kind, why would you not play Carson Beck in a game that he could play in? Are we protecting the injury, or are we protecting the fan base? You call me a conspiracy theorist all you want to. This happens a lot. Say that again one more time, Trey.
I said that was a good question, yeah.
The Arizona Cardinals played an entire game against the Raiders where they played Jacoby Brissett, then they played Gardner Minshew, then they played Keaton Slovis. What does that tell you? They know that Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, Keaton Slovis are the 3 quarterbacks that can develop Jeremiah Love. They can develop Bam Knight. They can develop Reggie Virgil. They can develop Michael Wilson. They can develop Harrison Wallace. I keep doing this, but I think you get my point. It's all into development and bringing along your investment. And the reason that I'm saying all this is that I'm looking at the team on the opposite side of the Arizona Cardinals. Fernando Mendoza comes in, plays a decent amount of this game, and he looked largely like a rookie.
Yeah.
Had some bright moments. He had some less than bright moments. The Raiders are protecting their investment. Do I agree that I think they are better off with Kirk Cousins? Not really. Because I do have a burning fear that Kirk Cousins may actually get maimed on a football field because he can't protect himself.
Yep.
He's too slow. He's been beat up to such a point, and that line is just not good enough. Now, does that mean you put Fernando Mendoza in harm's way? Maybe not. The Raiders are developing their investment the way that they best see fit. We didn't do that for a long time. There was a tweet that went out last week, basically said we have a quarterback development problem in the NFL. No, we don't. We don't. We have a bunch of teams that are not good at it, but that's not a problem.
Yeah.
It would be a problem if really good quarterbacks were going to really mediocre franchises and being run into the rocks. That's not what's happening. Really mediocre franchises are really mediocre at finding quarterbacks. If you don't believe me, look at the history of the Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, the Detroit Lions before Jared Goff. I could do this for a minute, but I think you get the point. It's not a development problem. Just because guys play earlier, just because guys get a shot earlier, Cade Klubnik, he's going to get a shot with the New York Jets. One preseason game, and I can tell you just based off how they used him, I can see that he's going to get a shot to start for the New York Jets before the season's over. Will it go well? No clue. But this is how the game is played now. Sitting a guy for 2 years doesn't work because you have to make the most of these guys being cheap. And I'll give you an example. Trey, where would you put C.J. Stroud among quarterbacks in the NFL?
Oh, that's a I outside of the playoff shakes that he had, I'd probably put him top 15, maybe top 20.
Top 15 to me is about where it's at. I would put him in that Jordan Love tier.
Sure, yeah.
I think that's where he belongs. Those two, Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield, they're kind of interchangeable to me. You can go all the way up probably to Dak Prescott. I would say Dak Prescott's on the high side of that tier, but that's just me. C.J. Stroud has started for 3 years in the NFL. He's been 3 completely different people, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Yep.
His rookie year, he looked like a franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
His second year, he looked completely lost. Last year, it got better. Is it advantageous that Houston played him from the jump? I would argue that it is. Because now I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of my quarterback. The reason that's important is because he's playing on the 4th year of a rookie deal. So they've already kicked in the option for 2027. So he will play for, I believe it's $25 million in 2027.
Okay.
What do you have to decide the year before an option year? The extension.
Mm-hmm.
What do you pay C.J. Stroud?
I mean, with the going rate of these quarterbacks, I mean, you're talking about even a Baker Mayfield was asking for, 60?
And there's the point. There's the point. Baker Mayfield's not worth 60. He's not. And this is where I was headed with the game changes. Not always for you. We've got you. If you're over 30 years old, we've got you. The NFL has never had more young potential franchise quarterbacks heading into its league than they do right now. Do you find that to be ironic? You think that's just a coincidence that all of a sudden we have 18 guys that could find their way into the first round and another 7 that could find their way to draftable? It's not. It's a perfect storm between NIL, development of quarterbacks in the NFL, and chasing a franchise quarterback. We have got all of these guys that have high upside and terrifyingly low floors because every team in the NFL is looking for the golden goose. C.J. Stroud has shown that he could be the golden goose. He may not be. And the Houston Texans are a roster that is ready to compete for Super Bowls. If anything keeps them from doing that, it will be C.J. Stroud or injuries. It could always be injuries. Every team in the NFL could succumb to injuries. If the Houston Texans get bounced in the first round of the playoffs again with what I would argue is the best NFL defense I've seen in the last 10 years, there's really only one person to blame. It won't be DeMeco Ryans. It won't be the offensive coordinator. It won't be the defensive coordinator. It'll be C.J. Stroud. Because we threw him out there, we let him sink or swim, and he showed us what he will be. And C.J. Stroud is going to be a great case study because it's going to tell you a lot about Bryce Young. Bryce Young's in the same boat on a lower tier. Bryce Young's had the exact same result that C.J. Stroud has. I got a team to the playoffs, but I couldn't lead them to a win. But statistically, Bryce Young has not been as impressive as C.J. Stroud. Eyeball test, I would say Bryce Young has not been as impressive as C.J. Stroud. But
you got a caller.
You have seen all of this right in front of you.
Right.
As opposed to being the magic beans that backup quarterbacks used to be, we don't do that anymore. You didn't notice it because it happened very quickly. That great magic beans of the backup quarterbacks, everybody's favorite player, it doesn't happen anymore. Because when the fan base turns on the quarterback, we go to the magic beans. And we'll see if they grow or if they're just a bag of beans. And I actually think that's better for all quarterbacks involved and all teams involved. Speaking of getting involved, you can do it with the show. Hit the call-in line 864-240-5480. Or you can shoot us a text, 864-777-9593. And we have a caller on the line. Caller, who's this?
Hey, Jeremy, this is Rocky, and I'm so sorry to do this.
You're good, Rocky.
Something that prompted me, and you're talking about the number of quarterbacks in the NFL, the youth, that's going on. So my question, or I'd like to hear you, is do you think, and I think I know what your answer is going to be, because I'm with NIL like it is now in college football, and it's only going to be more prevalent as the years go on. Okay, money's going to get bigger, and for these quarterbacks, and they're actually staying in college longer because they're able to make, the money that they're making, so they're able to develop in college, which saves the NFL, and now they're better prepared when they're getting into the NFL. Now, I'm not saying guys that are, no kid should be able to play 6 years in college, but, to get that extra year or whatever but with NIL, instead of coming out after your third year, maybe you stay 4. Or, depending, but you're staying and you're playing, you're getting paid in college, and now you're just getting that much more development. Hopefully you're in a good program and that kind of thing, before you get to the NFL, so you're that much more prepared. What do you think about that?
So, Rocky, it's a great question. We always appreciate the call.
All right, thanks.
So the answer to Rocky's question is one that I've said multiple times. We're up against the commercial break because I ran long in the last segment. So, Rocky, stick with us. I'll answer that question on the other side of this break. You're in overtime. Brought to you by Ingalls Markets on 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate.
Fox Sports Upstate weather.
This is WIFF News 4 Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice with your forecast. We've got thunderstorms clearing out as we go throughout the overnight hours. Temperatures will drop down to the mid-70s, up to 94 on Tuesday. Those temperatures are going to be really hot, especially when you factor in the humidity, feeling like 100 to 105. That intense heat continues Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday before some rain and a front. Cool us back down to where we should be this time of the year, back to around 90 by the weekend.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Did you know Skechers makes high-performance footwear for almost every sport you play? Here's what our athletes are saying.
Hi, I'm pro basketball player OG Anunoby. I dominate in Skechers basketball. Skechers delivers championship-level performance.
I'm WNBA star Jackie Young. Skechers keeps me quick, comfortable, and ready for anything.
And you can get high-performance Skechers and hands-free slip-ins technology. Just step in and perform.
I'm pro golfer Matt Fitzpatrick. I play in hands-free Skechers golf slip-ins.
Find yours at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or whatever high-performance sports shoes are sold.
Remember when everyone was creating those LeBron tribute songs? Now it's your time to shine. Create your own with Smile Tunes. Honor your favorite player, team, or your Little League star with a custom song from Smile Tunes. Visit SmileTunes.com and create your own anthem today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts gets you back to savings. Pick up select Royal Purple fuel system additives. Buy one, get one free. Plus receive 4 times O Rewards points.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Want more than just awareness for your business? An iHeartRadio Music Festival partnership can help your business drive action with sweepstakes, ticket giveaways, QR codes, and more. Make your business part of the iHeartRadio Music Festival today at iHeartAdvertising.com.
Attention retirees, this is Greg Elliott Prosperity Group. And did you know the taxes are on sale through 2028? You have the ability to do a Roth conversion right now with the type of account that will add enough to cover the tax of converting your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. Simply give us a call at 1-800-297-5755 or go to our website at mymoneyissaved.com.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
Guilty, erroneous, sustained.
Are you just saying random words?
Don't settle for just any insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The heat of summer is here. Call the name everyone trusts when your HVAC starts failing or stops cooling. McGee Heating and Air. When you call McGee Heating and Air, you'll speak with a real person. And for a limited time, get up to $1,200 off on a qualifying Trane system. McGee Heating and Air, your Trane comfort specialist, provides comfort you can count on, people you can trust. McGee Heating and Air, online at McGeeHVAC.com. That's McGeeHVAC.com. Remember, it's hard to stop a train.
Why pay full price when you can customize and save? Switch to Liberty Mutual, and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free original stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Southern Rock Ride. The greatest Southern rock hits from the 70s and 80s. Skinner, 38 Special, Allman Brothers, and more. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Southern Rock Ride, and listen now. Free never sounded so good.
You're back in overtime, 104.9 FM Fox Sports Upstate, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Find them online, ingles-markets.com. Before the break, we had Rocky call in and ask about NIL with quarterbacks and how that had affected the market. The answer is very simple. There's one thing that we now know that we didn't know before. We know how the money's going to affect these kids. Do you remember years ago we used to talk about guys and what would happen after they got paid? Does the effort level stay the same? And it still happens because you go from a rookie deal that pays $20 to $30 to $40 million to $100 million. Devin Witherspoon of the Seattle Seahawks just got $132 million over the weekend. That is a different level of money. But there are very, very obvious signs of guys that can handle money and guys that can't. And I've noticed it over just a handful of years covering the NFL Scouting Combine on site. There are things that are definite tells to me of, oh, this guy's not great with money. Oh, putting this kid from a college town into a big city with a lot more opportunities to make dumb decisions. It's a lot more obvious. But now what we're getting are college kids that have $2 to $4 to $6 to $8 million in the bank because that's what they made in college. So now I know what you're going to do with money. It's not going to catch me off guard what your rookie contract is going to look like. It hasn't changed anything for the second deal because there is a huge difference between $8 million and 80. I don't know that we will ever have anything that is a good indicator of that. But what you do with your funds that you make in college is a pretty good indicator of what you're going to do with your funds in the NFL. And I can tell, I'm not going to name names, but I can tell you there have been a handful of guys, 2 specifically that played at the same school that have red helmets and a logo that looks like a Green Bay Packer logo, that what they did with their NIL money shot them down draft boards. They fell because teams were scared. You're not mature enough to handle money. If you're not mature enough to handle money, are you mature enough to handle the pressure that we're going to put on you? That's the biggest thing that has changed from the college game 10 years ago to now. These aren't student athletes anymore. These aren't teenagers and young adults that have never seen anything about the business. I've said this on this show before. I've had a couple interactions with NIL deals where I served as either a broker or I was an intermediary of a business or a company or an individual wanted to get into NIL, and I brokered the gap to the agent. I'll tell you, dealing with some of these 19-year-old kids is a lot like dealing with 49-year-old CEOs now. Because they're the CEO of their own brand. They know exactly what they want to be. They know exactly where they want to go. They know exactly what they want this to look like. And that is way different than when I first got into covering the NFL draft. Because now it's a different kind of kid that you're dealing with. This is a kid that knows exactly what he wants out of all of these deals. And it's very beneficial to the NFL. I've said this with quarterbacks numerous times. A lot of teams have told me we feel way more comfortable with what we're getting out of a quarterback now because of how much more we know about him as a person. Part of that is how deep the scouting services are. Part of that is how deep the staffs are. Part of it's how free the information runs. And part of it is that these kids are just far more mature.
30 seconds.
Because they've had to be. If you'd handed me $1 million at 21 years old, I have absolutely no idea what I would do with it. But I also knew at 17 years old, that wasn't in the cards. The guys that are coming up now, they've never not known NIL because it's been around since they were in high school. He's Trey Falco. I'm Jeremy Greene. This is Overtime. We got 1 hour left. Get involved in the program. Call-in lines 864-240-5480. Text line 864-777-9593. We'll be back with one more hour here in Overtime after this commercial break.
Score a free pair of Nectar sunglasses, a $55 value, plus $40 in TBC rewards when you donate on August 12th.
You've got JB on the line, or on the text line when we come back.
10-4.
Attention all gun owners. Did you know you can now purchase a suppressor with a $0 tax stamp? Palmetto State Armory is the go-to destination for suppressors with brands like Dead Air, Advanced Armament, Silencer Co., and many more on hand. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is there to help walk you through the suppressor buying process and help you make the right decision whether it's your first suppressor purchase or your 10th. Stop in today and take advantage of the new $0 tax stamp on suppressors at Palmetto State Armory, your premier suppressor dealer.
I survived 9 months in captivity, and I've spent my life exploring how other people survive what should have destroyed them. I'm Elizabeth Smart, and these are the Survivor Files. Every week, I'm with survivors who lived through the unthinkable, abducted, stalked, controlled, and nearly silenced. These are stories about what it takes to make it out alive. Download the free iHeartRadio app. Search The Survivor Files with Elizabeth Smart and listen now.
In this edition of the Marketer's Report, Scott Hinchelwood, a director at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, talks about the power of live events.
We've been working with iHeart now going back to your beginning, and we have over 60 iHeart station partners out there telling our story, and it really helps drive that St. Jude mission home and share our patients and share our mission.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live events, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Free shouldn't come with a catch. With iHeartRadio, it doesn't. No monthly fees, no trial periods. Radio, music, podcasts. Download the free iHeartRadio app now.
Hey, this is Dewey from Dewey's Pawn Shop. It's time to get ready for hunting season. So come by Dewey's Pawn Shop where you'll find the best selection of new and used firearms in the Upstate. We have handguns, shotguns, and rifles. Great prices on guns and ammunitions and optics like Zwarovski, Night Force, scopes and binoculars. Dewey's has a large selection of Beretta and Benelli shotguns in the inventory. Remember, Dewey's buys, sells, and trades guns, gold, and diamonds. Located at 5900 Augusta Road. Online at deweyspawn.com.
Are you ready for best life minus the burnout? I'm Zuri Hall from NBC's Access Hollywood, and my new podcast, Hot Happy Mess, is all about the most important VIP, you. Join us each Monday as we discuss relationships, self-care, career, and much more. Our podcast is for mindful, ambitious, diverse millennial women who are ready for more happiness, laughter, peace, and purpose now. iHeartRadio is #1 for podcasts, and it's easy to see why. Listen to Hot Happy Mess every week on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sleep Number's new collections are designed to adapt to the changing nature of your life and your sleep needs. Whether it's the personalized comfort of the new Comfort Mode mattress, the targeted pressure relief of the Comfort Next mattress, or the Climate Collection that actively cools or warms to help you fall asleep and stay asleep.
And now, get early access to our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
For a lot of workplaces, the work week doesn't end on Friday.
That's why there's EasyCater, the best way to order food from favorite restaurants for your hardworking team, even on weekends. With EasyCater, you'll find great options for any group size and any shift, with tools to help meet dietary needs, stay on budget, and simplify expenses, all backed by our award-winning 24/7 support. EasyCater, your Monday through Sunday workplace food platform. Start an order for your weekend crew at easycater.com.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. From the Ingles studio, this is WROO FM Malden, 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate, an iHeartRadio station. Guaranteed human. Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. From the Ingles studio, this is WROO FM Malden, 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate, an iHeartRadio station. Guaranteed human. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Steve DeSager.
In baseball tonight, the Orioles lead 6-4 at Tampa Bay in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees pitcher Carlos Rodon will come off the IL to start Tuesday. The Yankees are second to Tampa Bay, 5.5 games back in the AL East. The Phillies are shutting out the Marlins 2-0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. St. Louis won the first of a doubleheader at Cincinnati 2-1, and the Cardinals are leading 2-1 in the bottom of the 4th of the nightcap. Tigers already out to a 4-0 lead at Pittsburgh in the bottom of the 2nd, and the Mets lead the Padres 2-0 in the top of the 2nd. The Buss family is selling its stake in the Lakers as well. Jeannie Buss would not be able to remain as team governor if that happens. Her attorney has now demanded a retraction of that family trust statement. At least 4 of the 6 Buss children had to vote yes to sell their family's share. In college football, Ohio State is preseason number 1 in the AP poll. Oregon is number 2.
Want more than just awareness for your business? An iHeartRadio Music Festival partnership can help your business drive action with sweepstakes, ticket giveaways, and more. Make your business part of the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Call 844-844-iHeart.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. I've been scouting these big carriers for a minute now, and I've seen them pull the same play 1,000 times. They promise you the world, then hit you with a price hike right when the game gets tight. But Boost Mobile, their $25 a month unlimited wireless plan is the most consistent player on the floor. No contracts, no price hikes. Unlock the savings today at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months on the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft chews, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Her words weren't written under peaceful shade, but under fear for her life.
I don't think of all the misery, but of the beauty that still remains.
The words of Anne Frank continue to fill us with hope. Hope. Pass it on from passiton.com.
The games are over, so there's only one thing left to do: overreact. The NFL Draft Nerd is here to weave through the world of sports and separate fact from fiction. Get involved. The call-in line's open at 864-240-5480. You can tweet us, we don't call it X, at the NFL Draft Nerd. Now, here's that creed-loving, bird-fearing, football lunatic, Jeremy Greene.
Hour two here on a Monday. We're in overtime. This is 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate. We're brought to you by Ingles Markets. This Friday, 4X Fuel Points, as every Friday, with Ingles. We all buy groceries. Everybody eats. And nobody should buy the groceries anywhere but Ingles Supermarkets, just like me, just like Trey.
That's right.
I was there yesterday. Had a lovely chicken salad. The rotisserie chicken salad.
Yeah.
And they don't put grapes in it. Don't put grapes in chicken salad. I don't know why. And apples. If I bite into a chicken salad and I get an apple, we're going to fight like men. Check them out online, Ingles-Markets.com. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. We have a ton of text messages and things on the line. We're going to go actually back to the previous show, so we have a couple from there. First one from Alex Sanner. We were talking about favorite fan bases to dunk on. I am going to have just a great time dunking on the Denver Broncos this season. If they go 14-3, you'll never see me again because I'll be in Witsec. Because I have not only have I goated Bronco fans all off season long, I've really celebrated that I'm going to enjoy watching their downfall because your defense is good, but it ain't that good. And your quarterback is fine, but he's not elite. So if they go 14-3, I'm probably going to have to change my name and fake my own death. Sanders said, my favorite fan base to dunk on, probably the Bungles and the Browns. I tie them together. And honestly, the Falcons. The Falcons, when I don't really understand, because I haven't met that many Falcons fans, and they're very loyal. The Bengals and the Browns, that one I understand. Although, be nice to teams whose teams haven't been good. As a team that hasn't made the playoffs in a decade and a half, be nice to us. Our team is mean enough to us. Next one's from Antonio Blanding, who said if Baltimore beats Pittsburgh in Week 18 last year to make the playoffs, there's no doubt John Harbaugh is still the coach in Baltimore. They would have given him at least one more year. Keep in mind they were a missed kick away from the playoffs. I've heard that. I've also heard from people in Baltimore that it really didn't matter what John Harbaugh did. The fraction between him and Lamar Jackson was going to knock him out of Baltimore one way or the other.
Yeah, they didn't seem to care for each other.
Him and Lamar by the end, they weren't just not on the same page. They weren't reading the same book.
Mm-hmm.
And it was super obvious.
Yep.
I have some contacts around the Baltimore franchise that basically said John Harbaugh had one foot in the grave, one foot on a banana peel from about week 5 on.
Oh, wow.
And short of winning a Super Bowl, none of it was going to change. Honestly, I heard the same thing about Mike Tomlin, too.
Really?
We see where we're at. We've been in this cycle for quite some time. Now, Baltimore drafts a little bit better. They obviously have better quarterback play, so that's kept them about a step in front of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's been close. They split every single year. I think both of those franchises had become dissatisfied.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad answer. It's not a bad line for what I was getting ready to say. They had become disenfranchised with we just can't get over the hump.
Yeah. You think Art Rooney would have fired Tomlin? He seemed pretty dead set on keeping him and then basically hired new Mike Tomlin.
From what I heard in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin was as ready to be out of there as some of the people in that administration were ready for him to move on.
I don't blame him.
I mean, look, there's a reason you don't see coaches last that long because eventually the message is going to become stale.
Oh, yeah.
There is just absolutely no way to keep that message from getting flat. Trey, if you'd like to get a couple sounders, we have a couple super chats in our YouTube chat.
Let's see what I got.
Dinkelberg. Both from Colin. He said, I've done so well not swearing on the Ragey box. I still feel bad every time you have to use the dump button. Much love, guys. We have set a record most times using the dump button. I actually think it's a new iHeart record. I wonder if they'll give me a plaque for my shelf. Most time using the dump button in 1 week. For those that want the inside baseball, yeah, when your radio goes dead silent for 10 seconds, you can probably figure out why that happens. It's happened a few times in the last week. We ask very patiently, please don't say the wordy nerds on the radio box. It's in the open for a reason. But we understand, and that is why we have said button. And one more, if you will, Mr. Falco.
No. Could you hum a few bars?
It said, so I just saw a fun stat for overtime game records. For Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. Can you guess who has the worst overtime record? Well, I can tell you definitively it couldn't possibly Josh Allen has to be last because he's 0-7 in playoff games. I remember that one from last year. That bounced around the old social medias for quite some time. I don't know how many overtime games the other two have played, but I would assume both are better. I don't remember. I remember them playing in overtime games, but I can't specifically remember what the record would be. Pat's 7-1. Stop. He's 6-0 in the regular season, 1-1 in the postseason. Josh Allen is indeed 0-7. Lamar Jackson is 3-0. I was trying to sit here and think. I don't remember Lamar losing in an overtime game. But it is a good point from Trey, or from Colin. Excuse me. You're Trey.
I'm Trey.
You get to this point and you've been on radio for 5 hours and 10 minutes, and you're like, we're close. We're very close. You can always get involved in the program. Call-in lines open right now, 864-240-5480. So is the text line, 864-777-9593. And our guy, JB, hit us with a text that said, Jeremy, on your rookie receivers list for the NFL draft, if you had to redo it after the first week of the preseason, would anything change? Either way, if you could read over that list of rookie receivers that you think are the best, we would appreciate it. JB, we appreciate you, as always. Rookie receivers, let me pull up my rankings from last year. This goes into, situations that guys fall into, and this is on the heels of the report from Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo that Jordan Tyson will miss 2 months with a hamstring issue that is different than the hamstring issue he dealt with in college. For me, the obvious one is Carnell Tate. You can't beat the situation. He's going to play on the outside. He's got Wan'Dale Robinson to be kind of the trash man. You got Gunnar Helm that can do some of that as well as a movable piece at tight end. And he's got Calvin Ridley on the other side. The volume might not quite be as high, but I think the upside is higher with Carnell Tate than it is with anybody else. I will say I had Denzel Boston higher than probably most evaluators. And based off what I saw, he and KC Concepcion are going to have very different roles for the Cleveland Browns, but they would probably be 2 and 3 for me. Just solely because Cleveland's going to be behind a lot. They don't have a lot of it's basically Jerry Jeudy and nothing. Then I would get into Mekhi Lemon. I'm worried about a slot receiver with Jalen Hurts and him being a slot receiver that starts the year as kind of the 2. He would be my next one. And then you start getting into Jeremy Bernard for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think, Trey, we saw in that first preseason game, he ran with the starters.
Yeah, did not expect the Guardian cap.
No, that kind of surprised me too.
Yeah.
I liked what I saw from Jeremy Bernard.
Yeah, I did too.
Then for me, I would be getting into Tyson because he's going to miss practically half the season. At the very least, he's going to miss a third of it. And then it gets into the just throwing darts. Omar Cooper has started very slowly for the Jets. Chris Bell is just now getting cleared for contact. Antonio Williams ran very low. Jacoby Lane, if there's one, and I was high on him to begin with, if there's one camp has really swayed me towards, it's Jacoby Lane. If your fantasy football drafts are this weekend, grab Jacoby Lane before your friends can. Because that dude is the 2 in Baltimore, and I'm not sure it's even close. I think he's already passed Rashad Bateman. The only one impeding him would be Zay Flowers, and they're just very different receivers. So, JB, the answer to your question would be Jacoby Lane would be the one that I do believe. I do believe I'm in even a different stratosphere than I was, and I liked him better than most. Calling lines open, 864-240-5480. We have a caller on the line. Caller, who's this?
Jeremy, Trey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up, Mr. Chad?
What's up, Chad?
Oh, man, I can't call it. It's kind of been a rough couple hours, man. Today's my mom and dad's 40th anniversary would have been, and man, it's hard to watch your mama cry over your daddy's grave, man. I had to do that, and it's tough, man.
Ooh, Chad, we our hearts go out to you, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, daddy's been gone about 3 years, but still, it's tough, man. You listeners, man, if you're out there and you ain't talked to your mom and dad in a minute, man, give them a call, tell them you love them. I mean, that's my advice for today. That's kind of, but anyway, let's talk about sports and not just depressing stuff.
What's on your mind tonight, my friend?
Oh, man, well, I was listening to Neil call in earlier, man, talking about the WNBA. Man, I completely agree. Man, I love watching them girls play, man. They're aggressive. They play hard. They play defense, unlike the NWA, but, man, they got to do something. They got to straighten out their officiating.
The officials are awful.
Politics and the bull crap out of the media, out of the press conferences and all, and focus more on the games and the stats, and the chicks with the beats need to stay out of the league. If you know what beats means.
I will say, and I said this at the end of the Sportsocracy Upstate, the WNBA was handed a golden goose. This is a league that, literally nobody watched up until just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Now,
I've been watching the past 2 years, and I've never watched the WNBA before then.
And I will tell you, I didn't. We had a weird connection thing with the storms that just blew through. I didn't get to say this. Neil said, Caitlin Clark's not the best guard in the WNBA. I couldn't agree with you more. She's the most marketable.
She's not the best one on her team.
No, she's the most marketable because she was the one that roped in the fans because they conveyed from her time at Iowa when she was breaking the record, and that's what led the eyeballs in. What leads the eyeballs in is not what always keeps the eyeballs. I would make the argument right now the most marketable player in that league is Sophie Cunningham, and I'm not sure it's all that close.
Yeah, I got a major crush on her. I love me some Sophie.
Hey, it's funny. The more we talk about this, the more I find there are two people that get brought up in my Twitter DMs a lot, and it's Sophie Cunningham and Ella Langley. I have nothing to do with either of the things they do because I'm not in country music, and I don't deal with the WNBA. But, man, there's a lot of guys that like to tell me about those two. And trust me, I get it.
I just want to go to a Fever game, and I just want Sophie to point at me one time. That's all. Just point at me. Make me feel good.
Chad, I'm gonna be real honest with you. If it is, I will spend 2 weeks in Indiana before this season is over. If it is my dying resolve, I am going to get a video of Sophie Cunningham pointing at you.
Oh, heck yeah. I love it.
We'll get her to do a cameo where she just points at the screen. She doesn't even say anything. She just says, Chad, the vending machine king, and then she points at the camera for 15 seconds.
Oh, man, that'd be a highlight of my life.
It is funny.
Pointed at me.
It is funny. I've always avoided the politics in sports because it's just it's a divisive thing. But I always say the same thing when it comes up. Wise man that all of you know, his name is Mr. Tank Spencer, who is on the other end of this mic with me every day here on WROO.
Yep.
He told me when we first got into this, he said every time you interject your politics into something, just understand you just got the market in half by 50%.
That's right.
It's one of the smartest things anybody ever told me, which is why I don't discuss anything that I can't make a joke about, because to me, almost all politics are a joke. Every time I vote, I literally just sit there and look at the thing and go, which one's funnier? I'm going to go the other way.
Yep. I tell you, man, that's one thing I really like about your show and Rich's show and Overtime and even John's old show, man. Y'all did not bring politics into sports, man. You talk sports,
I
don't talk about the Republicans or the Democrats or the Libertards or any of it. It's just sports. That's what I like about it, man.
I've done this for a minute, And what I've discovered about sports is that sports is escapism. You know, that's the beauty of this, is that we all have lives, we all have stuff. You know, and Chad, I'm going to use the story that you just gave about your mom. You know, we all have heavy things that are happening in our lives. My belief is that sports should never become the heavy thing that's happening in your life, because then that makes it no longer a hobby and it becomes either a job or a chore. A lot of things in life fall into those two categories. It's either a job, something you need to pay you to keep your bills paid, or it's a chore, something you need to do to keep your house afloat, keep your car afloat, whatever the case may be. Sports should never become a chore. And anytime they do, you're doing it wrong. That's not me taking a side. That's not me taking a stance. It's none of those things. That's not what we're here for. And I'll die on this hill. You know, I am the executive producer of all of these shows that we do. That has been something that Tank and I have been very consistent in the entire time we've done this. I'm not getting involved in it. I might make a joke, but that's going to be the extent of where I go.
Yeah. And that's the way it ought to be, man. That's what makes a good show, man. I don't want to get on here and hear about Trump or Biden or the Libertarian. I don't want to hear none of that. There's other radio stations for that if I want to hear it.
100%. That's and we've said that for years. There are places, if that's what you're looking for, trust me, it ain't that hard to find. You go find it.
Yep.
We're here to bring a little levity. That is the objective every day. If we can make you laugh a couple times and make you forget about the heavy things and forget about the jobs and forget about the chores, then we've done our job, and we can lather up and try to do it again tomorrow.
Yep. That's the beauty of the sports radio, man, that y'all created out there.
That is, it is the most fun part of our job. That, and we get to do, you know, our job is other people's hobby, and that's something that I love it every day. We call it living the dream for a reason, because it is. If you told me 20 years ago, hey, you're going to spend the entire fall with some of the people you're the closest with in life, talking to a lot of people, I don't know how many people, but a lot of people, and bringing them as close to it as you can. If you told me that 20 years ago, I would have said we need to go to a meeting in a church with stale cookies and bad coffee, because you're doing recreational crimes.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, honestly, man, I'm jealous. I would love to be able to just talk football all day, every day, instead of stocking drinks and snacks, man.
You know, it was Friday. I got to do kind of a bucket list thing. You know, I grew up watching Pete Hannity, do sports. And then to have, you can actually find it on our social media. Our business manager, Megan, recorded it and put it up. You know, having Pete Hannity interview me, that's a bucket list thing for me. Just somebody that, I mean, I used to watch Pete do nightly recaps of sports every night. And now to be friends with Pete is, it's a great blessing, and one of the great parts of my life is that I've been able to learn from a lot of people that they paved the way, and trust me, I do not take that for granted.
Oh yeah, man. Pete is well respected in this area, man. He has made a mark on local sports in this area. If there's a Hall of Fame for him, he should be in it for sportscasters, man, because he's done it right, man. Like I said, he's been a part of sports all my life, man. I remember seeing that dude when he was a young man on Channel 7.
I can tell you
about it every night. You know, back before the internet, and that was the only way to get sports was a little 5-minute clip on the Channel 7 news in the evenings. The only way you knew sports, or you had to go back to the original newspaper, the Herald Journal, and read the box scores and see who won like that. I mean, you know, before social media, and you knew instantly what happened. You know,
social media,
the man that brought it to you.
Social media has definitely changed the game, and you know, one of the things that I absolutely love doing is breaking the fourth wall. That's an old wrestling term for letting you behind the scenes of something you're not supposed to know. When we moved to Greeneville full time, Pete Yannity could not have been nicer, and I had only met him a handful of times, and he's been so gracious with his time and so gracious with his knowledge and just so gracious as a person. And I speak for Tank and myself. We're both very lucky to call Pete Yannity a friend.
Oh, heck yeah. Man, you ought to see if you could get him call in on the show one day. I'd love to hear his take on some stuff, man.
We could probably make that happen. It's almost, Chad, you and I think very similarly. It's almost like that could be a plan coming sometime in the fall.
Yeah. Maybe after Clemson gets started up. I think, he's a big Clemson guy, I believe.
He is a Clemson guy.
Yeah, I'd like to hear his take on maybe on both teams. I'm sure he's got a good take on the Gamecocks too.
No doubt.
I'd love to hear it, man.
I got to chop it up with him at Ingles out there in Inman on Friday, and we just it was very surreal for me just to be sitting here talking football with Pete. He's just a great guy. Chad, we appreciate you as always, my friend. We have done that thing that Jeremy loves to do, and we have blown through a break.
Every time. But it's all good, Jeremy. Man, we'll be tuned in like always. And, man, we love the show.
Chad, we appreciate you, my friend. And we appreciate all of you. You're listening to Overtime here on 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate. It is that time. It is last call for calls, text messages, YouTubes, carrier pigeons, smoke signals, anything else you can do to get in touch with the program. The call-in line, 864-240-5480. That's 864-240-5480. Or shoot us a text message, 864-777-9593. He's Trey Falco. I am at the NFL Draft Nerd, Jeremy Greene. We'll be back to close it up on a Monday right after this in Overtime on 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate.
When you're ready to ride, you don't settle, and neither do we. Harley-Davidson of Greenville has the largest pre-owned inventory in the Carolinas.
It's hilarious you say carrier pigeon. I thought of you over the weekend. I saw there's an app that sends a text message like it was being carried by carrier pigeon.
Let's go.
So, like, from your location, it'll send, and it would take roughly the same amount of time it would take a pigeon to deliver your text or your actual letter. So it could take days.
Let's go.
And I should have sent it to you, and I forgot, but I was like, that's Jeremy's app.
Dude, I played golf on Saturday.
Yeah.
And there's the country club here in Asheville's right beside my house. So we went down, played 36, and we got to – it absolutely dumped on us on the first one that I played.
Yeah.
And we get to this bridge. There's a bridge that's leading to the green.
Mm-hmm.
You drive over the bridge, you get back on the cart path, you go around the green. There were 10,000 pigeons. After the rainstorm, there were 10,000 pigeons on this bridge. And, usually you drive a cart at pigeons and they fly away.
Yeah, they scurry, yeah.
None of these did. They just walked out of the way and parted the waters for the golf cart. And I'm not going to lie to you, it is one of the freakiest things I have ever seen. I don't know if they've just become disenfranchised. They're so used to people.
Could be, yeah.
They didn't give even the smallest about a golf cart flying their way.
Yeah. We went down to, I think it was Fripp Island one time, and apparently they have deer on the island that are like that. They just don't care. You can come driving at them with a golf cart, and they're like, what are you going to do? They don't care. They walk up to you, and they're like, you got any food? What you got on you? You get mugged by deer.
We had those. So my father had a very firm no shooting my deer policy.
Yeah.
He also had a garden, which basically became like a food plot for deer.
Yeah, for the deer, yeah.
But then he would complain that the deer were eating his vegetables, which that always made my head hurt. But he had deer that were literally they were like pets. One of the guys that the Chainsaw Brothers that they did a lot of tree stuff around Asheville for Helene. They helped my parents move. And are we stacking this, by the way?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. They helped my parents move, and they were like, y'all just let us come out here and hunt. And I'm like, what are you going to hunt them with? Like, you could take a hammer and kill every deer out here.
Right, they wouldn't scurry.
Like, this is not hunting. This would be like murdering a pet.
You like Anakin, you killing the younglings.
And he was like, I mean, I don't want to do that. And I went, exactly. This would be like clubbing a poodle. There's no sport to this whatsoever.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Dude, I do not know what is happening outside because I closed off I have like a little window that's right above my French door.
Yeah.
And I closed it off with sound panels. So all I can see is what's happening right outside the sound panels and what's happening right outside the little fraction that I can see outside the windows. I'll bet you I've seen 25 lightning strikes in the commercial break.
Oh, I believe it. I've been sitting – there's been an EAS alert on this TV probably the entire overtime.
Oh, if what just came through here is headed your way, dude, be careful on the way home. Because it was
okay.
If I can hear rain, it is a monsoon. Because the roof is significantly over my head.
Hopefully it holds off because fortunately it's dead quiet outside right now.
It sounded like the end of days. And now the rain has either slowed down or stopped. I can't tell which one.
Yeah.
But it is lightning literally every 3 or 4 seconds.
Well, hopefully that just goes right past my house. I like it. I enjoy it. But after Helene, my wife, storms and her, they don't mix.
Tank's the same way. If it rains real hard, you can tell it gets him.
See, I love it.
He dealt with more of that than I did because, I live up on top of a mountain.
Oh, yeah, so yeah.
I didn't know squat until I, got off the mountain.
That makes sense. We had a tree. Well, we had the top half of a tree get ripped off and go right through our car.
Woof.
Yeah. It hit, and she couldn't sleep, and so she was on the couch with our youngest, and I was still laying in bed, and the way that it hit basically dead center of the house. So I thought the tree went through the living room. She thought the tree went through our bedroom, and it ended up just right there in the middle. It blasted off the bricks there on the front porch and went right through our car.
Yikes.
Yeah. That's probably one of the only times since I've been an adult that I've been through a storm and been like, I don't feel too good right now. Like I'm kind of sweating a little.
I don't love this.
Yeah.
This is not great.
Usually storms hit and I'm like, this is nice. Like the thunder, the lightning, like I love it. The rain, heavy rain, don't care. But that one, I was listening to the wind whip past our window and I was like, I've never heard that. That's a new one.
We have a tree right outside our living room.
Yeah.
And it just kept hitting the window. And that was the only thing that I heard throughout all of the... And then we came off the mountain and it was, whoa, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine.
Time to close up shop here in overtime on a Monday night. He's Trey Falco. I am at the NFL Draft Nerd, Jeremy Greene. Brought to you, as always, by our friends at Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Trey, it's a loaded week.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like every week becomes a loaded week. I intentionally made this week as hey, we're going to get ready for the tour because I'm gone at the end of next week. My little mini vacation that I take every year before the season starts. Somehow I found a way that we're doing something every day this week. Just don't know how that happened. Looked at the schedule this morning.
You're a busy man.
I am a busy man. It's better than the alternative.
It is, yeah.
I do greatly like that people call and want us to do things. It's a lot better than being bored. Speaking of calling, you can call this here program to get involved. Call-in line's 864-240-5480 or the text line 864-777-9593. We have a couple texts to get to on the text line. First one from our guy Bill Workman. Said Jacoby Lane is the possession receiver in Baltimore, and that dude needs all the love. If it was legal to bet and wanted to bet on the Heisman, where would you put your doubloons? Oh, no, that's a good question. If I had to bet on the Heisman, well, I mean, the non-quarterback would be Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
Because that dude is not of this earth. I did laugh, or I have been laughing over the last few weeks. What I said was Chris Henry could ultimately be the best receiver that has ever come out of Ohio State. I did not say he is actively the best one. And there are like 10,000 comments from Ohio State fans going, "Did you forget about Jeremiah Smith?" Nope. No, I didn't. No, I actually didn't. I said that.
Can you read?
I did say that. Right now on DraftKings, your favorites for the Heisman, C.J. Carr plus 700. That's a solid place to start because Notre Dame plays, I think, a cooking school, a couple orphanages. I believe there's a school for the blind, maybe a music school.
Right.
And then Miami and SMU.
Well, I mean, when all you have to do is be ranked, the top 10 in the country, and you're automatically guaranteed to get in. Why would I build a harder schedule?
I at this point, I'm not sure why Notre Dame's not playing high schools.
Right.
Just I only had to play 12 games, and it doesn't matter who I play them against. Sweet. Akron, Toledo. Basically, I'm going to play the MAC, which is close geographically to where I am at South Bend. And then I'll play those 4 ACC games I have to play every year, and that's a schedule. Just keep letting me in. Arch Manning is plus 750. Dante Moore's plus 1,100. Darian Mensah is plus 1,150. Jeremiah Smith's plus 1,400. I'll be honest with you, the one that I keep staring at, Malachi Toney's plus 3,800, and they play just a tough enough schedule, and that kid is not of this earth. That's the one that I'm looking at. If I'm trying to hit a grand slam, I'd probably go Malachi Toney. If I'm saying it with my heart, after the way Peyton was done, the year that Charles Woodson won the Heisman when it should have been Peyton, I don't think they would do it again. So, I mean, I think Arch is the safest money. Texas plays a very tough schedule, but that is a very good roster. I mean, Texas has got 2 high-end receivers, a couple running backs in that backfield, and Arch was significantly better at the end of the season last year than he was at the beginning. So if I was putting my money down, I would say it'd probably be Arch Manning and Malachi Toney. I'm trying to see if there's one that I would take an even bigger swing, but I'm not seeing one. Drew Mestamaker at Oklahoma State may put up a bajillion yards, but I don't think it's enough to win him the Heisman. Yeah, I think those two would be – that would be my consistent answer. I might get a little cuter if I thought about it, but Bo Jackson at Ohio State. If Julian Sayan's just not the quarterback we think and Ohio State still finds a way to go 11-1 or 12-0, I do think Bo Jackson is going to be a dude for Ohio State. We have one more text, and after that we will get into the top 25. The coaches poll came out, and I think they got a few things wrong. Notorious B.I.G. asked if I would give my top 25. We'll do that after we hear from Rocky, who said out off Chad's comments on Pete Yannity. Great play-by-play for Clemson, and this is coming from a Gamecock. Orange in the end zone is what he created. Love to hear him talk Tigers and Gamecocks as football season approaches. Rocky, we appreciate you.
You got a call?
And Pete, just a great guy. Speaking of the call-in line is still open, 864-240-5480. And we have a call on the line. Caller, who's this?
Hey, Jeremy, this is Billy over in Greer. How are you?
What's going on, Billy? How are you today?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just wanted to get into a couple of the topics that you hit on in the last 3 or 4 hours that I've been listening to you. The last one is the one I'm going to get into first. I tell you, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a South Carolina fan, but I would take a flyer on Sellers. He was close 2 years ago, got his name into the conversation. You know, obviously a lot depends on how they play, and I've heard you say, and I agree, that they're going to be one of those teams that I think is going to surprise a lot of people. I think they're going to be similar to what happened 2 years ago, and if that happens, then he's definitely going to have his name in the conversation, I would think, based upon their record and who they play.
I would agree. I actually almost said Lenoris. I was staring at him at plus 4,000. Like, am I being a homer? Because I am on a South Carolina network, and I do like South Carolina. So am I being a homer saying that? I have kind of a homer filter, because there is nothing that I hate more than the guy that just sunshine and rainbows everything. Mm-hmm. But I'm being honest. I actually really like this South Carolina team. I think Kendall Briles and Lenoris Sellers are going to get along perfectly. I think Kendall Briles got a bit of a bad rap when he was at Florida State, but Willie Taggart had just built a horrible roster. And asked Kendall Briles to figure it out they just didn't have anything. That team was bad. And I think Kendall Briles and Lenoris Sellers are going to get along like peas and carrots.
Yeah, I agree with that. And leaving out his tenure at Florida State, if you looked at what he's done at other places where he's been OC, you know, when he's had quarterbacks that were pocket passers, he's built his offenses around that. When he's had quarterbacks that were mobile, he's built his offenses around that. And I think he's going to go in there, and I'm sure he has already done this. He's going to look at the tools he's got in his toolbox, and he's going to build his offense around what Sellers' strengths are. And I think the key is going to be the offensive line, Jeremy. You know that.
For sure.
If that offensive line, I'm not saying it has to be good. Hell, it can just be okay, and I think they're going to probably win 8-9 games at least, in my opinion.
I'm really curious to see what happens with Jacarius Peak. I understand, coming from the NFL world and dealing with colleges, I understand with HIPAA and all the things that are different in college. I do wish we got slightly better information of a timeline, because I have heard a wild variation of time frames on Jacarius Peak. I'll tell you, I covered that kid at NC State. And I can tell you, if he's ready and raring, it doesn't have to be for Kent State or Towson. I got September 19th against Mississippi State circled. If Jacarius Peak is ready for that game in Columbia against the Bulldogs, I really like that line for South Carolina.
Yeah, I think they're going to be much improved. I mean, if they're not, then they're going to have a terrible season. And I agree with something I heard you say earlier on your other show with Tank. It is a very key game for Beamer in Mississippi State. There's no doubt in my mind about that. You can't. To me, there's no avenue you get to 8 wins plus and lose that game. And there is roads that lead to Beamer not making it to the Clemson game if they lose that game. So that is a very key game. I would definitely agree with you on that. Now, I think South Carolina should win that, but I don't think that's just one of those games where South Carolina fans should just, circle that and say, well, that's a W, like the other two in front of that, because it's not.
Those are I hear this term trap game used a lot, and a lot of times people will say trap game when they're talking about a team that you should beat because they're not any good. That's the definition of a real trap game to me, because that's a team that's way better than the public perception on them. Fluff Bothwell, that's one of the best running backs in the SEC, and that's high praise. They've got a couple quarterbacks. I've heard they could go a slew of different ways at quarterback, but they've got two. A.J. Swan was at Florida State. Jaden Rashada was at Florida. Those are both good quarterbacks, and you're not going to have a whole lot of depth of tape on them, which is something that people undervalue. Mississippi State starts with UL Monroe, and then they play Minnesota the week that they have to go to Minnesota, which it shouldn't be cold, but you're going to get into a weird shootout with Drake Lindsey whatever is happening at quarterback at Mississippi State, that tape evaluation for Shane Beamer may be the single most important week he's ever had at South Carolina.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like I said, there's no path to 8+ without that win. That's so key. And, they could lead them on another road if they lose that game to where he doesn't, like I said, didn't finish the season in South Carolina. So we'll see. Anyway, talking about other Heisman guys, the reason I wouldn't take Smith or Tony is because they're not quarterbacks. That's the only reason. Otherwise, I'm with you on both of those guys. I'll throw one more SEC quarterback out. I think people need to keep their eyes on is Reed. I think he could be under the radar. If you ask me right now, Jeremy, who I would pick to be in the SEC championship game, I think it's going to be a rematch of the last game of the year with A&M and Texas. That's just my personal opinion. We'll see. I realize Texas has got a difficult schedule. A&M's is not easy either, but I think they're both going to find a way to get into that game. We'll see. Transitioning to one more quick thing, I heard Neil earlier, and he was talking about his brother. He's talking about me. I'm his brother. But, he's one of those people. I don't know what it is, Jeremy. It's all the Montana people. They never want to give Brady any credit. I don't know why they do that for. It's always the Montana people. It's never no one else, and it's not just Neil. It's across social media. If I meet these guys and they grew up big Montana fans, they for some reason they're jealous of Brady's, what he's done, his accomplishments, or whatever. But you cannot tell me if you tell me, and listen, I'll throw Mahomes in there and some other, the great quarterbacks that's already proven they're, who they are as far as history goes. If you're taking anybody other than Brady in I don't care if it's, one game, one drive, or one throw, then you're crazy in my opinion, because I think he's proven who he is. He's won more Super Bowls than any franchise. He's won more playoff games than just about any franchise. If that's not enough, I don't know what you need then.
Well, and I would take Brady. I'll tell you, as a Jet fan, Tom Brady is the only person that I ever allowed to haunt my nightmares for 20 years. I was married twice, and I got out of both of those long before they could haunt me that long. Tom Brady was the ex-wife that I couldn't divorce. It just felt like every single year you were finding a new way to haunt me. The funny thing, and it's why I do my best to stay out of two things, which is the GOAT talk and the Mount Rushmore thing. Because it's so funny to me that in every generation, and for me, it would be hard for me to speak on the 70s, whether you're getting into Bradshaw or – there are a lot of names you could throw in there. From the 80s on, I'm pretty versed. So you went from Montana really into kind of a hodgepodge there for a little bit with – you had Favre and there were a couple others in there. Elway had that nice little run at the end. But it's at any given time, there's always one guy in the sport that is just the one. I call him the boogeyman. You see him with the ball with 2 minutes and you go, we left too much time. That is a phrase I remember. Dan Marino used to do it to the Jets time and time again. We left him too much time. That is the one at that given time. Brady just did it for longer than anybody else. It was from the middle of the 2000s until just a few years ago. He was the one that you went, oh, God, he's got a minute 37, and that's plenty. He doesn't have any timeouts. His number one wide receiver's in the blue tent, and somehow it's not going to matter. He's going to find a way to find Deion Branch. He's going to find a way to find, Troy Brown, who spent half his time at corner. It just didn't matter. He always found a way to make the chicken salad out of the chicken excrement. I can't comp him to Montana because everything I've ever seen of Montana was on tape. So they were both incredible. For me, it would be Brady, and I'll be honest with you. Mahomes will never – I'm starting to think Mahomes will never get the credit for being as great as he is because we had just watched Brady do it in front of him. And it's like a sequel to a great movie. No matter how good the sequel is, it'll never be the original.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think up until maybe, 2 years ago, most people were saying, there's a lot of young people saying, well, Mahomes is definitely going to catch Brady. I was the one, and Trey can verify this because he's heard me say this 2 years ago. Nobody's catching Brady in Trey's lifetime. I'm 56. Trey, I think he's my son's age. I'll guarantee you nobody's catching Brady's Super Bowl record in my lifetime and in Trey's lifetime. So, and that includes Mahomes. I don't think Mahomes is done winning Super Bowls. I don't think they're going to win one this year, but he'll probably win at least one more before his career's up. But he's not going to get another 4. That's just my personal opinion. Anyway, Jeremy, listen, I love the show. I've been listening since you came on. I heard you doing the other things prior to that here locally where you would do the picks and everything. I love what you're doing, man. It's very entertaining, so I just keep on doing what you're doing. I'll be listening. Take care.
Hey, Billy, we appreciate you, my friend. First time talking to you. Hope it's the first of many. It's just that simple. It's how you get involved in the program. You call it any time. Call-in line's 864-240-5480. Text line 864-777-9593. Always good to have brothers call it. I think that's the first combo of brothers I've ever had call in the same show.
Oh, nice.
We're just setting new standards here every week on the route. It does feel a little weird to not see Kangaroo Tank and Kangaroo Jeremy on Trey's screen, along with people don't know this about Trey. He's got a very, we'll say, assorted collection of backgrounds on his computer.
Right now, it's Aaron Rodgers on a ride at Kennywood on a roller coaster. It just shuffles through different things that I find.
There are times if you ever hear me in the middle of a point and it sounds like my brain just went Control-Alt-Delete, it's probably because I've looked up at Trey's computer and seen something that I'd never seen before.
I had the Crash Brothers on there too when DK and GP were going to be on the same team.
It's a fun life we have here.
Oh yeah.
And I'm happy we're all along for the ride. We have a message on the text line from Chad, the vending machine king. He said Brady had to cheat to do all that, Billy. I always love when people say that. And look, I get it. I grew up a huge fan of Dale Earnhardt. My line's, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, because I got news for you. Everybody else was doing something, too. I will say, and the PSI in the football, which is always the thing that Brady gets raked over hot coals for, that's still a thing to this day. I mean, I'm on a good number of fields. You catch a ball on a sideline, they don't always feel the same. They've also been treated within an inch of their lives.
Yeah.
That is one thing that will catch you off guard about a football. I mean, because you're used to seeing a ball come out of a package and it looks a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
A football used in college or NFL football looks like it's been struck by lightning.
Really?
Oh, they've been sanded down. They mud them. They're at a very specific PSI. There's different balls for different situations. That is one of those things that if you've never been on a sideline, I get it that he did something technically wrong, and I will take any opportunity to throw shade at the New England Patriots. But that was one that to me was just grossly overblown. I'll also say at times it can be harder to catch a deflated football than it is one that's pretty full. It just depends on how big your hands are.
Yeah.
We had a question earlier of what would my top 25 look like. The poll came out today, coach's poll. I think largely they got it right. They had Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Georgia 3, Notre Dame 4, Texas 5. If I was putting mine out, I would probably have had Texas 1 because I think Texas is this is the most talented roster in the country. I like Arch Manning better than I like Julian Sayin. There's a lot of weapons at Texas. There's a lot of pieces on the defense. I'd have Ohio State 2. I'd probably have Notre Dame 3, Oregon 4, Miami 5, Indiana 6. I would probably go LSU 7, Oklahoma 8, Georgia 9, and then we get into the probably Texas A&M. Texas Tech doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, they have Will Hammond. That doesn't give me that warm and fuzzy feeling. The one I think everybody's undervaluing is Penn State because they just don't play anybody. It's the easiest schedule you will ever see in the history of the Big Ten. They play Michigan, they play USC, they play nobody else. Washington, who has a decent quarterback and not a ton around him. The team that I think is grossly overrated is Ole Miss. I like your quarterback. I like your running back. I don't like your coach. I think you're going to quickly figure out that Lane Kiffin was the pretty girl that broke your heart, and all of the things that you've said and done are because you will never, ever do that well again. Because Ole Miss is it's a tough place to win.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid the honeymoon period with Pete Golding is not going to last nearly as long as people think it will. And that will make for I'll say a bit of a clunky transition for Ole Miss. Going down through the rest of the rankings, to me, Alabama's a borderline top 25 team.
1 minute.
You don't have a quarterback. I don't feel great about it. I would probably have USC, Michigan. I think SMU is probably a little undervalued. I think Florida should be in the poll. I would have had TCU and South Carolina in my poll. I probably would not have had Missouri. I probably wouldn't have had Iowa. I almost certainly would not have had Utah, and I wouldn't have had Washington. So that's not
30 seconds.
That's not a line by line. It's not a 1 to 25, but that's just kind of my takeaways on what the poll would have looked like. I'm big on Texas. I'm big on Ohio State. I think Oregon and Notre Dame are the two other best teams in the country. And I think that's what you're going to see this season. And I'm ready to kick it off. And we're getting closer by the week.
10
This
seconds.
has been Overtime, brought to you by Ingles Markets. He's Trey Falco. I'm Jeremy Greene. We'll see you next week right here at 7 on 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate.
In action August 18th through the 23rd. So get ready for more exciting action, memorable moments, and the best entertainment value in the Upstate. Lock in your seats now at GreenvilleDrive.com.
Hi, I'm Jack Nicklaus. Golf was my game for decades, but now I'm focused on a new challenge, my heart game.
All right.
We made it.
Yeah, we did.